In a world of remakes and remasters, what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame. Gone are the days of pods and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot. Hello and welcome to the show. This is Best Gen, the show where nerds complain about nerdy things. It's called Best Gen because we're all roughly from the same gen, and we happen to think that it's the best. Not because, of course, we as people are better than everyone else. It's because our entertainment was. So get ready to wax nostalgic as we reminisce on the old days where movies used to not suck. We're joined. I'm in a different place today. I'm not in my office. My brother is on vacation, and so I decided to break into his house and eat all the food from his fridge. So I'm in his office right now, and we'll see how. He shouldn't be home for like another couple days.
Oh.
So,
hey guys, sorry I'm late. My office was locked for some reason. I couldn't get in. So,
well, you're home.
Wait, bro, what the hell are you doing in my office?
That's my daddy.
Oh no, you ruined the gag. Your daughter ruined the gag.
I mean, I think it was perfect, actually.
I think you could have kept it going.
It's your dad.
Yeah.
I'm streaming from my brother's house today because my sister's in town. So we're all together. Today's show might be a little bit shorter. We'll try and keep it to 2 hours because I've got family in town. Hi. Say hi to everybody. This is my niece.
Hi, Daddy.
What the heck is going on here?
Hi, Daddy.
So we've got me, of course. I'm joined by my brother, who's nice enough to let me use his computer, which has a horrible setup, by the way. Holy crap! Oh, I realized I probably shouldn't be using these headphones if you're going to be in the same room as me, huh? Done? It's fixed. Okay. Joined by my brother David.
Hey!
Joined by my cousin Jared, who's also a nerd.
Oh,
We're also joined by Juan Brand, or not Juan, as he shows up in my Google contacts, which I didn't put. I'm not the racist. That's what his name appears as, that he put in there. He's got his own channel, which is great. If you're not already subscribed, you're missing out on some wonderful memes. The Angry Mexican, and we're also joined by Bearded. Who's got his beard and his dignity back.
My beard is
No
coming
longer
back
looks
in.
like a naked mole rat.
I think I'm gonna see if I can just grow at least this part for the next year. Just not even trim it at all. I usually trim that up, but I'm gonna see what happens.
Looks good.
How long
Looks
I can
good.
get away with it.
Oh man. Oh yeah, David has a channel too. You can subscribe to it, I guess, if you want. There's a lot to talk about this week, even though we only watched 2 shows, which we're talking about Willow episode 3, and we're talking about 1899 episode 4 or episode 5.
Oh, that's right. I didn't watch that yet.
Bro, I just gotta
Pretty sure it was
say,
4.
It's episode 4. We're talking about episode 4.
But if you want, I can set you up with a great discount. You want to bundle your service.
So, apologies in advance if things are a little slow tonight. This setup is horrible. Look at this. My brother has a track mouse.
oh,
See what I'm dealing with?
Far superior than standard mouse.
I feel like
Actually, I used to hate the idea of them as well, but then I had a coworker that got one that still looks like a regular mouse, and I'm actually liking this one. Okay, I'm not loving it,
Well,
but
it's the
I'm liking
thumb.
it better than just the weird one.
I
Like he's got.
tried that. I can't do the thumb one.
Yeah, no,
I-
that's what works
it's
for
fun.
me.
I actually grew up on a track mouse, and I still hate it. So,
yeah,
Oh,
I
man,
grew up
there's-
with those little mouse that had the ball inside, and
yeah.
Yep.
if the ball got busted, you are screwed.
But I would always play with that little ball too.
Exactly.
I'd pop it out and I'd play
I know,
around
Jared.
with it.
Jared, we all know you like to play with your balls.
You
Oh,
know,
by the way, I forgot to
I appreciate that.
We made that stinger when Jared got married, and we're always looking for excuses to use it. Yeah, there's been a ton of news. Also, apologies. This is clearly my bad side. I look much better from this angle, and I'm going to be very self-conscious all night. Holy crap, guys. I feel like we have to talk about like all the stuff that happened this week before we can talk about the nerdy stuff. We made the worst WNBA trade of all time.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started with that, bro. Holy moly, guacamole! Nah, bro,
I just don't understand how we didn't get a 2-for-1 deal for the Merchant of Death. Like we don't. That's our biggest card. We could have at least gotten 2 people.
Mm-hmm. Or at least maybe a Russian girl, in the mix. Oh my god, bro!
Oh, have you guys seen the theories that Brittany Griner might be a man?
No.
That could
I
be.
haven't seen those. No.
So, the video they released of her on the plane coming home, her voice is so deep she sounds like a man, and they released some photos that we're unsure if they're doctored yet of her time in Russia where she's shirtless and looks like a man.
Well,
Well, maybe she went all them transition, therapies or
Yeah, but
surgeries.
that's the thing. There aren't any scars.
Mm,
So who knows? I think
good point.
she's a man.
Or pretty good Photoshop, we can see there because those photos look, accurate.
I know with deepfake you could do like anything, but the tattoos all match. I don't know. It's a conspiracy.
It's really hard to do that as well.
Yeah,
The
I'm
tattoos.
not going to stare that hard, so
Yeah.
I'll leave that for the experts.
The thing
Bro.
is, though, it wouldn't be the first time that a man couldn't compete against other men, and so they decided to beat up on girls.
Bro, you saw that volleyball trans girl that just knocked out a girl, right? Oh my god.
Yeah,
I gotta say I hate Brittany Griner, bro. She gives stoners a bad look. You gotta bro, like anyone knows that if you smoke, and you're going to travel anywhere, more to Russia, how it does make sense that she had bro, I literally traveling local. I really had to clean up my bag with colorum or
I can't take my fingernail clippers on the plane because it has a nail file.
Yep.
Much less a whole ton of THC oil.
a pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, never. I never traveled with a pen because I know that obviously they smell. They smell like THC. It's so. She's not a stoner. She's just dumb. You know that she is just dumb.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I still wouldn't wish like 10 months of prison on her, but
I will. I would. I mean,
the
bro,
merchant death,
it's the merchant of death. That's
the
the most
Lord of
badass.
War.
That's the most badass name in out there. You know,
I agree.
if you gotta be, like a terrorist.
I
I mean,
mean,
you can have that
Say
name.
what you will about the guy. He had some sick nicknames.
Right, I don't know if you remember that awful Green Hornet movie where the villain had like a really lame name, and they were like,
Oh,
"If you
yeah.
want to scary
Yeah,
people, you
yeah,
have to get a brain." And then he, gets the worst name, and I was like, "Bro, the Merchant of Death is badass."
I didn't
And
hate the Green Hornet, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
it was a fun, popcorn movie, but
Yeah.
and who was on it? That's that
Seth
guy.
Rogen.
Yeah, that Chinese guy was great. I don't know where he went. Like
I hadn't seen him in anything before or after that movie, but he was the best
exactly.
of it.
He was great. Like he looked like an actually martial artist. Probably in Hong Kong movies, we can see him in Hong Kong movies.
And Seth Rogen was just Seth Rogen. So
Yeah, but he's not that annoying, Seth Rogen. Like new Seth Rogen is horrible.
yeah, his laugh has progressively gotten more and more annoying too. Like every time he does it, it gets longer and more just
Forced.
grating.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other? Oh yeah. So the other huge thing that happened was Jennifer Lawrence was the first woman to ever be in a movie. From what I heard,
Yeah, I think she's the first woman to ever breathe. Actually, so
to ever read.
to ever breathe.
Breathe.
Oh yes. Yeah. True fact. There were no women before Jennifer Lawrence.
Did you see
was
she tried to walk it back though?
Yeah.
And her explanation makes no sense.
But I mean, at least she admitted that it was a blunder.
I mean, it was like, if she didn't, she would have looked so bad. No one would ever support her again. Not even the feminists.
But her excuse is like, here. Oh, your computer is so slow, David. It came out wrong. But it does. Her excuse doesn't make sense either, though. That I was just embarrassed because I was in a room with Viola Davis, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was Viola. I was just embarrassed or nervous because I was in a room with Viola Davis. So what I said came out wrong. But there's no other way to interpret the statement that she made. No one had ever cast a woman as a lead in an action movie before. Like, how could that be worded differently and come out right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I was wondering if that was just headlines. Maybe someone.
She was amazing in Gone with the Wind.
Oh my god.
Yeah, frankly, I don't
Or
really.
Alien or any of those.
Yeah. And
Yep.
she actually came from the 90s, so I mean,
I
I think
know.
she's 89 or
She's
91. I don't remember exactly.
She's
So
our age.
she grew up with all this stuff, like all the great female leads that were like, I probably remember more female leads than actually male leads. Uh, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I was nervous talking to a living legend, so I thought I'd insult the rest of the living legends.
Yeah, but when you're with a living legend, you are actually going to try to be humble. I will try to be humble, like, and say, "Oh my God, you are such a legend! I got an Oscar and you haven't." But she probably has. Viola Davis probably has an Oscar.
I think they both have Oscars.
Yeah, I mean,
She got hers for the autistic movie, right? Or was it for something else? Jennifer Lawrence, sorry.
It was
For the
for
silver linings
Silver
playbook.
Lining
yeah.
Playbook.
So
I never saw it.
But I think she got it because she was gagging on
Oh, the comments here are
Harvey
great.
Weinstein's.
She was Charlie Chaplin's favorite co-star. Didn't she play Kim Possible? Shout out to Mark Clark, our channel member. You can become a channel member too. If you pay 99 cents a month, you get access to all sorts of things, like emojis and a discount for the merch store. If you want to get this cool thing. Oh my gosh, yeah. But people have been roasting her on Twitter. Like, this was a good one. She was the first person to. No one has ever played Mystique before Jennifer Lawrence. It's just what a stupid thing to say. I've said some stupid things, right? Everyone's said stupid things in their life, but that was like the most wrong you could ever be.
I mean, she also said that she basically ghosted her parents because they were Republican,
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
and that she was having nightmares with Tucker Carlson. So she's pretty dumb.
She has recurring nightmares about Tucker Carlson of all people. Like, you could have picked a scarier Republican, right?
Alex Jones.
Carlson, he's got his bow tie. He looks quite dapper. Like, I can't imagine a nightmare with him.
Yeah, he looks like a bellboy, like, I don't know, from a hotel.
He looks like he's there to like carry up your luggage or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
I know. I see like Maxine Waters, and I have nightmares. So, we should talk
She
about.
does look like Beetlejuice. So,
The thing is, it's like I can't even imagine being that famous and having every word like publicly criticized. Like, that's the crazy thing. I'm like,
yeah.
I would hate that.
Yeah,
But I mean, obviously she messed up, but I'm like, that part would suck. Literally anything. I mean, because I've said a lot of stupid, like, for example, I mean, my wife's constantly like, you meant the opposite of what you just said. I was like, no, I meant. But like, if you put that in front of everybody, the world, like, I'd have so many people being like, what an idiot.
And a big part of what her original stardom was she was doing a lot of that, like, oh, I'm this quirky, don't know what I'm doing, awkward person or whatever. She was starting out, so yeah.
And
seems like she's come back around.
At least admitting that she misspoke and not doubling down and saying no, this is a problem, or I don't know, whatever.
Yeah,
I
think
did give excuses for her statements, but she also admitted that it was a blunder and she misspoke. So
I don't know. To me, it kind of feels like she's sorry she got caught, because the other thing is, Viola Davis was also in the room with her and nodded and went along with what she said. Fully knowing bull crap. Like, no, like it.
Yeah, just that she would think that
like,
is.
Yeah. I can understand if it's a mistake and you said something stupid, but the fact that everyone else in the room didn't call her out and say, wait, what are you talking about? They just nodded along because it fits the narrative. That's what sours me. Because, like, I totally get where Jared's coming from. Yeah, like,
that's a good point.
All your words are scrutinized like that. That's got to be a hard thing to deal with. But also, you're giving a public interview.
Yeah.
So watch what you say, and
to promote a new thing from her, and nobody even remembers the new thing that she's. The only reason I know is because that it was on that article, but no one remembers anything she's doing currently.
I remember her past projects. I don't know what she's doing now. I haven't seen a movie with her in a long time.
She was an A-lister.
A lot of stuff recently. Like, I've seen her in lots of trailers for stuff. But
What?
the other thing too that I was thinking about is like the fact that she said this means that she's thinking this, right? And I
Right.
think that's kind of where this is circling back, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is kind of how she feels. Like
Mm,
she's, a
I
really
don't know.
important actress that's like paved the way for others to basically follow her. But it's like, okay, well, you're not the one that started it all. So
Yeah,
Yep.
but I think, or maybe I'm mistaken. I think she has borderline, so probably that's the reason why she not cannot filter through
Yeah.
things.
Borderline would
Having
manifest that way, though.
Gunther,
Usually, borderline's
Well,
usually not
you
being
know,
able to handle
aggressive. Super
rejection. Yeah.
aggressive.
and also, to give her some credit, she definitely did pave the way for crappy teen movies.
But I mean, Twilight did that first, so that's even taking.
Dystopian YA movies, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mark,
Maze Runner. The only thing that inspired it was Maze Runner.
why on earth would you watch Mother? Oh my gosh.
that was a pretty good show,
And
actually.
he spelled it wrong. It's mother with an
No, the one with
exclamation
Jennifer,
point.
the one with Jennifer Lawrence, not the one, not
That's a
the
horror film.
not the
Not
one
the
on
robot
Netflix.
one?
Not
Yeah,
the one on
no,
Netflix.
the one with
Oh.
robot.
one with Jennifer Lawrence. It
One with
had
Jennifer Lawrence.
an exclamation point at the end. It's mother.
Yeah, yes,
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah,
Mother
I
is the scary movie. Mhm.
I don't think I saw that one.
Honestly, I
No, I
liked the
didn't see it
Netflix
either.
one. That was with what's her name? The one who played a boy. I can't remember. The $1 Million Baby. Was that her? Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting this off
I thought it was
topic.
good. The Netflix movie. It was a nice
Yeah.
sci-fi.
The robot, Mother robot.
Yeah.
No, it's called The Mother,
Uh,
I think.
The Mother.
It's
Oh.
the same.
Or is it The
The
Perfect
same
Mother?
girl. Oh, I thought it was the same girl from the Peripheral. I thought you were talking about that girl there.
I'm not
I
sure.
don't
I don't
even
know if I've
know.
heard which one you're talking about.
It's a Netflix.
Chloe,
It was
what's her
it was exclusive movie.
It looks like
Oh.
a Korean one that was
I
on
don't know what
Netflix
it's
called
called.
Mother.
Yeah, it was about a robot. That's the
Oh
one
no, it's I am Mother. That's what it is.
Oh no,
Okay.
I
My bad.
yeah.
My bad.
There was another one with the Peripheral girl that started really good and then became utterly dumb.
Hilary Swank was the name I was
Oh.
trying to remember there. She
Yeah, I
had that
saw
one
that.
role where she played a boy. Yeah, Boys Don't Cry. There we go. Thanks, Mark Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And she was also in the
good.
Million Dollar Baby. That's a $1 Million Baby is a good movie. I am I'm a simp for and now I'm struggling to remember names.
Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood, yeah. I'm a
Oh
Clint
yeah, that
Eastwood
was a
simp.
good one.
Oh yeah. Well, old Clint
Kind of
Eastwood.
scares me when
New
I
Clint
when I
Eastwood.
read your mind, Alan.
New Clint Eastwood is really weird.
I don't know. Did you like Gran Torino? I loved it.
I mean, Gran
Oh.
Torino is not new Clint Eastwood. I mean, Mule. The Mule.
Mule.
Mule,
The
yep.
Mule.
Right.
I thought you said new. Yeah. Mule
Kinda weird.
felt like there was a good story there, and it just never got there. I was like, it kept building. I was like, all right, this is gonna be good. And then he's planting flowers in jail, and I was like, it needed something.
And then she had his threesomes with 20-year-olds, so that also fed off. Yeah, but
Battleship. I never watched Battleship. I was
That was good.
That was like the Transformers tie-in. Something.
I think
or other, right?
that one came out when I was in Mexico and I wasn't watching movies.
I don't think it actually tied in with Transformers, but it was like, yeah, they
It
were
was like
fighting
Transformers
aliens and there were,
battleships.
machines.
Yeah.
That's the one with
transformed, I
Rihanna,
think.
right? Yeah.
yeah,
I
that
think
was
so, yeah.
that was weird.
Was that
Remember
her
when
first time she tried to be an
Remember when
actress?
she was trying to do movies? She did
Yeah.
Battleship and she did the Thousand Planets.
Yeah.
Was she in Valerian?
Yazoo. Huh?
Was she in Valerian in the City of 1,000? Or is that a
Yeah,
different
she
thing
was
you're
in
saying?
Valerian.
Mhm.
And I think that was it.
I think she was in a TV show too, or this
She was in those two movies and she was going to become the next sensation. And then
She was also in
Oh,
voice
she's in
acting
Halle Berry.
for cartoons, so yeah, it's.
Jared.
I mean,
Well, it's pretty clear that we're treading water because I don't want to talk about Willow.
Bro, I told you that he could get worse.
I
I hope it
I started episode 3 4 times.
Really?
Yeah. Like I got through the first 10 minutes and then I got through the next 6 minutes. And then like I could not. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. David, you said this one wasn't as bad, but I think
Yeah.
I think that this is the worst episode.
I'm
Now,
with David.
The first one was worse.
here's the thing. I hate episode 1 more for how it bashes on the established characters, but structurally, it's actually not a bad setup for the TV show, or at least the story they're trying to tell. It
That's
gets
true,
gets all the beats across, and look, I hate what it's doing, but at least it's doing something, and it sets up the story, and then ends with a cliffhanger. And structurally, as much as I hated episode 1, it's made competently.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Episode 3 is definitely the worst episode.
Yeah.
I hated it so much. It was nonsensical and stupid.
Yeah,
I didn't
There
even
were,
dislike.
there were a lot
yeah.
of kind of very messy and weird fight scenes.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, all the fight scenes were close-ups because
Yeah.
their choreography is absolutely garbage.
But I don't expect much out of that, honestly. It's
jump
one of those
cuts.
things where it's like I can't defend it in any way, shape, or form, but I wasn't expecting much out of that. I mean, it's just So that
Yeah,
doesn't
money is-
bother me, even though I can't defend it, you know?
Money going down the drain. That's all we can see in the screen, literally.
For me, it didn't make any sense, like chronologically.
None of it.
Like
Right.
seriously, first off, they start out and they're like, oh, where's this lady,
Laura?
right? That just got taken, but it was nighttime in the last episode when she got taken.
I know.
And
They
then-
don't
and
notice
then
till the
and then
morning.
whole-
They don't even notice till the morning.
But
Yeah, and it's
also,
in the
they
morning,
said-
and they're like right outside their camp. I'm like, wait, what?
I think
they
it was
also
supposed to be
said,
that it was
hey-
just shady there when she, I don't know.
Right. But they also said in the previous episode that, hey, we shouldn't let her wander off. And then they
They let
just
her wander
ignore
off.
her while
Yeah.
she's practicing her magic and let her get abducted.
And even
And then they
And-
don't realize she's gone. It's like, what?
what's weirder about that is they waited so long to notice she was gone, and then they find her, and the people haven't left yet.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, if you said like if this the other morning, the next morning,
The-
that
I-
they should advance.
I guarantee
Yeah.
you, it was a reshoot, like restructures, and they just didn't match the time of day and didn't worry about it.
Mhm.
I will
Yeah,
say
because
It's very
the-
clear that no time was supposed to have passed, but very clearly time has passed
Yeah.
because of
see, and
how-
I
and a
didn't feel
sim- and a
as bad.
A similar thing happened later in the episode.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like chronologically, like there were so many times where I was like, okay, wait, these guys left, and then these guys left later, but these guys got to this
Ahead of
point
them.
before
Yeah.
these guys, and
Yeah,
then
that was a little bit
Yes.
weird.
what? Like, I was like, I do not understand just what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy. Yeah, and then when they get to Elora, someone gets from behind, and the other person gets from behind. Valentine, the Borman, the only good
Mhm.
character in the show,
Yep.
he suddenly appears when he's supposed to.
Yeah.
Everyone took a
Where else could
detour.
the mountain?
Yeah, they all separated, went separate ways to look for her, and then they suddenly came back together. Like, what in the hell is going on?
Yeah.
It's horrible. They specifically say, hey, there's two paths, one, and they both lead to very different places.
Yeah,
And then they say, we're not supposed to split up. Okay, let's split up. And they don't give a reason for their minds to have changed.
Yeah,
They just
That's true.
decide to split up despite saying that they wouldn't do that. And then
they end up at the same
Willow
place
and his
at the
group
same time.
somehow show up in the same location. Oh gosh.
At the
And
right
also-
time, at the right perfect time.
Also, and it was supposed to be like an inn, right?
Yeah.
Except that every time it rains, the whole valley floods. Why would there be an inn there?
I don't remember that part.
I don't know.
I don't remember the part about the valley flooding.
Well, yeah, that's at
what
the end.
they said. We can't go back. That's how it ended. They said, with all this rain, we
That's
won't be
right.
able to come back the way we came. We'll have to go up those stairs.
Which is so dumb too. It's like, oh yeah, so we keep going the way that we know we shouldn't go, just so it doesn't flood, even though it's fine here, and we could go up a little bit, and it's probably good.
I just wait for the rain to pass and just go back. But
Yeah.
nah, they need a reason for them to keep moving forward and
Well-
to find the place. I don't remember the name, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, and then there was the part two where like literally everybody's fighting, right? And Alora's just standing there, like she's not even
Willow
trying
too.
to get away. Like half the time, I
And
was like,
Willow too.
oh, yeah,
Willow
okay.
literally waits until someone dies before he
Yeah.
does anything.
Well, they at least gave an explanation for that. Whether or not you like the explanation, that he's not
he's
strong enough to be able to
running
do
out
a ton of
of
magic, and so he needs to hold it and withhold it for the big battle that's coming up. That
Is
he's
it because he's getting
prophecy.
old, or because he like it? They don't explain why though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really
They're
explain
just
that
saying,
very
"Oops."
well.
He's running out of magic.
There better
And-
be
and-
some explanation in the future where he needs to do magic, but he spent it all on this thing or something.
Well, and the,
Well,
Because-
and they
the
did
worst-
explain that he was expecting that he has to use it in the big battle. He wants to save it for the big battle, and so he doesn't want to use it now. And what I suspect is that for whatever reason, his age or something is making it so he's limited on his ability to use a ton of magic. So he's trying to save it now to save for later. But
right.
I
He's a
worry
great
a
emotion.
little bit that they're taking the wrong lesson from what happens in the original, where when he starts casting magic, it hurts him, right? But Raziel tells him, "Oh, it's always painful when you start out, and then it seems to be fine." So I wonder if they're just taking it that for Willow it hurts him to do magic, and so they're just going to continue that through. That
It's just
he can't use.
It
magic
would have
because
been
otherwise he'll
better.
Get himself hurt. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
that would have been better to show him physically, roughed out, beaten.
Well, when he cast the magic,
because
he
of the
was
magic.
he was wiped out. It hurt.
Yeah,
him
but
to
not
cast the magic.
not like in the movie where he literally, it's like his hand starts to melt almost, like he's burning inside, and we cannot see that here. It would have been more interesting to see him, physically feel the pain.
I
He
thought
was
that
just
they
tired.
paralleled the pain that he had in the movie with what he was the pain that he got from this one. It's just I kind of hope that that's not the reason. That it's like, oh, he had pain in the movie, so it means that casting magic's painful for him now. I don't think they should do that, because in the movie they say it's just starting out, it hurts.
Right.
Exactly.
And then he's it's just so the rationale makes no sense, right? He's like, oh, I need to save my magic, but if he doesn't use it here, everyone's going to die, and then they won't get to the point where he needs to use his magic. And then his friend is dying, and they establish he has the power to heal him, and he chooses not to because
his friend tells him,
his
"Don't,
magic.
don't." His friend tells him, "Don't save me, save your magic."
He says,
Don't, I'm just a little
"Save your
people. I'm
magic."
worthless.
Well, you have Alora Dannon. Maybe tell her the words to say, just in case.
Yeah.
I suppose it took her how long to figure out the other spell, though. So I don't know.
But
it's
So-
worth
So the
trying.
the other thing is and more in support of the reason of like not using the magic now. I literally just yesterday was doing a D&D campaign and talking with my friend about how you do this all the time, where you don't use the special big thing that you have now, even if you're in trouble, because you think you're going to need it later. And it's absolutely something that me and my buddy do when playing D&D. So it makes sense that they would do it there. So I buy it that he was like, I can't use all my magic right now because I'm saving it up for, because what he seems to be more than anything, he seems to be a powerful enough sorcerer, which check that box off a little bit from one of the complaints you had before. He is able to do magic and he is powerful with it. You saw how powerful that was that he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see why it is that he can't use more. I don't know. But I buy it.
Maybe because he has a small body.
Yeah.
and
I
he
think it's because
cannot
he's old
resist.
and frail.
Isn't the ultimate
it's gonna
goal
take
though
a
to
while.
teach Alora Dannon so that she can fight the baddie?
Yeah,
Right.
but they said she's got a long way to go. He's like, you still got a long way to go. You know, at the very
Yeah,
end.
but
there,
you know what would help her? Doing magic
actually
in front
practicing?
of her.
Well, that's
So-
true too.
Like, it shouldn't even be, Willow's quest to face the person at the end. He should be training Alora Dannon to be able to do it. So it would be worth the sacrifice of your magic if you can show her how it's done. Because she's obviously more, she's a woman, so she's going to be more powerful than him.
No, yeah, I don't know. I can buy it as a
promised one. She's literally the Jesus, right?
I can buy it, but I do see that it, to me, it's a standard trope where I'm okay with that standard trope of just like, hey, you can't use it yet, you can't do it now, and they find ways that at the very least have some explanation.
But usually the thing that breaks that trope is when your friends are dying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened.
Now's the time to do it.
But he did it too late.
To save it later, but I have to use it now to save my friend who's dying.
Yeah.
Which again, he did use it in the moment to stop the battle while his friend was dying, and then was able to go over there and then was told, "Don't actually
save your magic."
Yeah.
It reminded me of that SNL sketch where they make fun of the Titanic with the people playing the violins.
Oh yeah.
They're like, "There's a bunch of boats," and no, we're staying.
I think all the women and children are on now. No. I think you're gonna like one of the comments.
Saul Guerrero in Rogue One. No,
I'm tired of running.
I've just decided to die.
Yeah.
Save your magic, old fool.
Yep.
I think you like what Mark Clark has to say in the chat.
Oh
there,
yeah,
though.
he needs to drink some. He needs to drink some polar water.
Very nice. Good.
It'll help with his magic. That's funny because that's a song that I wrote. It's a Christmas song that you can buy. It's available now. It's pretty good and it's pretty depressing.
Did I also see it was on Spotify?
It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on Amazon Music. It's on iTunes, which is apparently still a different thing
than
Apple Music.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
But yeah, bro, the other thing that I hated from Willow is the dialogue.
It's
God.
worse. It's worse. This was the worst.
Wow.
This episode was the most teen, just horrible.
Bro, they actually used the word mojo. What
Yeah.
the hell? What is? Are they millennials and Gen Zs?
Yes.
What is this timeline?
That's how they're written.
Yeah.
They don't even have lights in their place. They use candlelight and oil probably to light up everything, and they say things like awesome, mojo, weird. That's so weird.
If I hear the word radical, I'm gonna.
Oh my god!
I will love it.
When he says your generation has an attention span, such a bad attention span. How does that make sense?
Well, it literally is.
we had a
Any generation, previous generation looks at the younger generation and sees them having no attention span. So I'm okay with that.
That conversation was him calling out the bad dialogue that they wrote. He's literally acknowledging that that's the conversation that we have about the generation that was raised on TikTok. Right? They're pointing out how horrible it is and how much it doesn't fit in the universe.
Yep.
How it rots the brain, basically.
I don't let that get in my way. I can see past that, although I can't defend it.
Oh.
Then there was that awfully cringy scene with the two lesbian woods women that served absolutely no purpose.
There was a lot of cringe there, but then at first I thought that they might be lesbian, but then I was like, wait, but are they sisters instead? Because she was like, Papa raised us kids, or whatever, and I was like,
they were definitely lesbian.
Well, that was my first assumption, but then the way that they were talking made me think maybe they were sisters. I don't know.
Bro, they were lumberjacks.
They don't look related. They're not sisters.
Yeah.
Bro, the stereotypical.
What was
the point of including them in the story, though? They didn't.
It added nothing. It changed nothing.
Yeah.
It meant nothing.
I think what it added and changed, and not that this was much, but it shows that there are people around the world that are looking forward to and know who Laura is and are willing to fight for her. And
she was just kidnapped. They know that people are looking for her.
No, not just normal people. Normal people are looking forward to the return of Alora Dannon, the one true Empress.
He was trying to do the willing to fight. Of anyone who helps me will end up dead.
Yeah. So was it the most powerful? Was it a particularly well done version of that? No, but it did do that.
I would have liked it if it was acted better.
Yeah. It was kind of awkward.
The fight scene was 2 moves, and then she hits the guy in the back, and then turns around and ignores him. It's like in his shoulder. Like,
I got it.
Even if he wasn't like this immortal, undead thing, that wouldn't have killed the guy.
Yeah.
So you don't turn away and let him stab you.
But she's just a simple woodswoman. So she wouldn't know better,
No, she wasn't a simple. She literally gave a speech about how awesome she was at fighting.
Yeah,
that she retired, basically.
I'm a simple woodswoman.
We're
said that at the very beginning. We're just simple woodswomen,
Bro, isn't that as like an offensive stereotype, like the lumberjack lesbians? And
well, also, I learned this recently that it's a stereotype to kill off the lesbians. I learned that from Jared's wife. He told me that's a stereotype, and I had to go back and think, and I'm like,
Jared's wife or Jared's wife?
Remember that being a stereotype, but I guess it happens a lot.
Yeah,
it happens.
Well, the whole time I couldn't help just thinking about the Monty Python lumberjack song sketch. Playing the whole time.
Try not to get you demonetized, but yeah.
And hang around in bars.
Wait, what?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Also, did you guys notice? I don't know if this was a mistake or intentional, but Alora is running through the woods, and it's stormy and dark and rainy, and then she turns a corner when she meets the lumberjacks, and it's serene and sunny.
I think that was actually
and it's never addressed.
Yeah, my guess.
I thought they were trying to go for hey, this is some kind of, these lumberjacks are magical. They have some kind of enchantment around this area that keeps the rain out. But then it was never addressed. And then I kept thinking, wait a second, this happened at the beginning of the episode too. Was this just a horrible continuity mistake? Because otherwise, why would you not address it?
Yeah,
I totally expected it to be this is her Tom Bombadil sort of thing, where she's in this protected area, because it wasn't rainy and stormy. It was misty and scary, and then it wasn't.
I thought that there was something sinister, that they were like sirens or something.
That would have been a good twist.
That would have been an interesting twist. Yeah,
we're gonna help you, and then they're really holding her there till the
that's the problem. I kept thinking that the writers were competent and that there was going to be a reason. Yeah. And I keep forgetting that I should not be giving these people the benefit of the doubt. And now I legitimately think that it was a continuity error, and they're just too stupid.
Like a continuity reshot mistake sort of thing.
Yeah, that could be.
I think that they might have just got themselves into a corner, and because they
already made that mistake at the beginning of the episode. I think it was just a mistake.
The only reason that I don't think it was necessarily a mistake is because of the way that they did cut it, or at the very least the editors were able to work with this mistake in a way that made it seem intentional enough. Because going into it, we were like, it's going from mysterious
to... It was a mistake, and they tried to fix it in the edit, even though it's not addressed?
I think that that's the thing, is I think that they tried to edit around it in a way that made it so it seems like it works.
100% right.
But they just didn't have enough to be able to fill in. They weren't able to explain, it happened because of this. And again, they're like, oh yes, we're going from this dark and mysterious something to, look, it's bright. But then they were like, but this doesn't really lead anywhere,
I think you are 100, and I've never said this before on this podcast. I think you are 100% correct. I think they made the mistake and the editors tried to turn it into a magical thing, but they never had like a
really hard.
There wasn't
anyone
enough something else
saying,
there.
"Oh, hey, why is it bright all of a sudden?"
Yeah.
And so they could only take it so far because there was like a little like tink, like a magical jingle that it was like a little diddly, and then like, oh, you're right.
Well, here's a thought that I had too, though. Just thinking about it, what if it's has to
Hi,
do
Jacob.
with her perspective?
Sorry, go on. I was addressing the comment.
Okay. I was just thinking, what if it has to do with like her perspective of the woods, right? Like, so as she first runs into it, it's all dark and mysterious, and then she finds these people, and then she's like,
her internal struggle. It was her internal biases and misconceptions about the woods.
Yeah, right. So it was dark.
They were scary.
She finds people, and she's like, "Oh, there's hope," and then she.
But then she finds her like-minded lesbians and realizes that there's hope. Oh wait, no, that's the one character that's straight. Sorry.
Well, no, and I will say that was the other thing that really bothered me was, like, regardless of their actual sexuality or anything like that, the way they kept looking at her and talking about her nice skin was kind of uncomfortable.
It was so creepy.
Yeah.
Ooh, this nice little girl with her soft underage skin.
It was yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
That whole scene is like.
That's the thing that she the one who spoke, the other one didn't have any lines.
Literally said nothing the entire time.
She's really good in the Apple show, Ted Lasso. She's fantastic in Ted Lasso.
That's where she was from. I was like, where is she?
She's been popping up in everything. She's also the fourth witch in Hocus Pocus 2. The one that
I haven't seen that yet.
Doesn't add anything to the story, and she's just there for some reason. The one that like gives them their witch powers.
I never finished that.
She's been popping up in everything.
Huh.
And like she's a competent actress. I just never heard of her before Ted Lasso, and now I'm seeing her everywhere.
I honestly wonder then, therefore, it must have been that's what she was directed to do. She was directed to be
the acting
awkward,
and it was bad. It was so bad.
Yeah, they told her act like a man because she basically acts like a man. Yeah, because she grabs Solora like by the neck and almost gives her a headlock, and I was like, "That's what a dude will do when another dude comes and they, hey boy,
when she sits down, she's manspreading and stuff too, you know."
Yeah, and she's lumberjacking.
Okay, guys, stop with the manspreading hate. There's a reason we have stuff in between our legs. Okay, we can't cross our legs like you do because it's painful. Sorry. So yeah, manspreading's a thing, and it's not a bad thing. Normalize manspreading. Okay?
Isn't that what they're doing? They're making it so that they can
I do that every day.
So they're normalizing it? I don't know, whatever.
Bro, manspreading for your health, bro, you know?
If Disney wants to normalize never mind, I won't say that on stream. But
Alan does have a filter. No, just kidding.
Yeah, but I don't know, bro. The show is getting worse and worse. Yeah. It's probably going to get to levels of Rings of Power.
Even the the one character that I was liking was the Van Mardigan replacement. And I hated him in this episode. He was annoying and just dumb and
now you see why they call him Boar Man.
One-liners that just never landed.
Yeah, exactly.
And felt out of place.
Don't pull me up.
Like while people were in danger, he was like making a joke. And I was like, I did not.
And then there's the part. Go ahead, David.
So he was down in the well thing, searching for the artifact from the armor or whatnot. And then she said, "Oh yeah, there's these were rats." And then
she asks, "What's a were rat?" And he says, "It's exactly what it sounds like." And then they show you the were rat, which you'd assume is a man who transforms into a rat when the moon comes out, right? but it turns out it's a rat with 2 heads.
Yeah.
That's not what I imagined when I heard werewolf.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I was expecting like a humanoid rat, something really
Yeah.
disgusting, great makeup, and it was just a freaking
The word
just a
"were" is
in a
is
car.
an old version of a man, so a
Oversized
man
rat.
rat.
With
Yeah.
an extra head who was slimy.
that
Yeah.
probably was running in a control remote car,
I
with a
think,
green
though,
screen on it and
The
just bad
scene
CGI.
where she kills one of them is
that was cut
Oof.
some of
together
the
weird.
worst cinematography I've ever seen in my life.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's like it's
It's
cut
rough.
and then and like it's so
Yeah.
bad. Like
I will say,
the
I bet
actors are
you.
so incompetent in fight scenes they can't even like show. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet that they included this were rat, and especially that shot or two that we got of the actual were rat, because they're like, oh look, here's a practical effect that maybe, because honestly,
Yeah,
besides the fact
it
that
was
it's like
it
weird
was a
200 rat,
practical
like,
effect.
there's
They
something
didn't
about
know how to
that
use
kind
it.
of- it kind of seems like it should have fit in the old one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
in the
good.
original Willow,
It was a good
but not
effect.
quite. but,
When
yeah.
the 2 seconds that it showed, I was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
good work." And then they're like,
And then she stops it, and it's like, oh my!
Toss it at her, I
Jumped
guess, and
on
just
her,
cut it to
and-
hell because we
yeah.
don't know how to animate this
And she
thing.
trusts the rat, and
Yeah.
But
But,
what was
uh,
ridiculous though is he went down in this hole, right? And he's like, "Oh, you got to stay so you could pull me back up, even though I'm like a fourth of your body
she's
weight."
a fourth. He's
And then-
huge.
And then they conveniently cut away, and then he's like already back up there.
Yeah, I was
that
gonna
was
mention
the
that
I was
too.
like, "You're gonna need to come back up. Let's cut away because obviously we can't show this tiny girl pull up this oversized man."
Honestly,
on
I don't even
camera.
necessarily think it was that, because I think that you can, at the very, she has a winch there or something, like, because there's like a well type thing, maybe, whatever. She could be working with that. He could climb up the rope while she holds it, whatever. But the problem was that they had the were-rats like menacing her, and she's like, okay, come on up, and they didn't have they couldn't
turned
like have the
into-
time of them actually climbing out.
It
While they're
turned
just
into
like-
the scene from Jurassic World Dominion where they keep showing that the Velociraptor is right behind the girl, and they
Yeah.
cut away, and he's still right behind
And
the
somehow
girl.
she's gotten the same distance ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where rat?
Where rat?
There.
There, rat.
bro, and
There.
we
Where
know
rat?
that
That's a good.
Let's
Nobody
all
ever
go
asks
watch
why
Young
rat or
Frankenstein.
how rat.
Hmm. Yeah, there's going to be a Young Frankenstein clip in the next meme video.
and they did find the key, right?
Yes,
Well,
he
he
did.
did, and then he pretended like he
It
did.
was like a little scroll thing.
It was the thing
It
that
was the
we
thing
saw
that-
in the flashback that went into the armor.
Attached
Yeah.
to the armor, yeah.
Oh,
they-
That was
Yeah.
also
that
a little
looked
bit.
so out of universe.
Yeah,
So
that-
out of
What
place.
the hell?
It was
I
like
was like,
sci-fi.
And
Yeah.
it like went into the armor, like
Yeah,
it would
yeah,
go
it-
into your
Magically,
parts,
really
like,
weird, I
magic.
don't know.
It was magic, David. Come on, magic.
bro. But I
It looked
prediction
like
of this-
it didn't look like magic. It looked like science.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It looks steam.
Bro.
I don't believe in science. I only believe in magic.
I only believe in magic. Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? How the music can free her whenever it starts.
No,
Sorry.
no. I will stick to women my age. Thank you very much. I watched too much
Bro.
creepy Disney stuff.
oh,
Yeah.
no.
But the other thing that was really weird with that too is that he was like, okay, we got to go to this. Like, I really want to go by this inn because it was a great place. Your dad and I went there all the time. And then he says like, oh, the owner of this inn, he was the only one that we trusted with the secret or like the like information about the cuirass or whatever it is,
We knew he would take it to his grave.
because we knew it taken to his grave. But it sounded like he was like, oh, we told him information about like, hey, we're searching for this thing. Not that he had the
gave
literal
him
key,
the thing
apparently.
that they would need if they found it.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it must have been, but that was definitely not what I took from his dialogue before he went down
Exactly.
there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then why are you searching for like just because he has
Jared,
the information
you are
that you had?
Full of good opinions today.
Well,
I
and-
wish
and
there was
why
like
is
a
he down the
medal I
well?
could give you.
why
No.
is he down in the well? Like if he took it to
I
his
know
grave,
it's supposed to be like it's a crypt, isn't it? I don't know.
I don't know. It's very confusing. I don't know. It's weird because
Maybe he
while I
was
agree-
lying and he put it there. I don't know.
he did say only about
Yeah.
1/3 of the stuff he'd said was true. So
Yeah.
that was also weird. So
I don't know.
I don't know. Again, I actually did. I'm with David that I kind of enjoyed this episode, but there is a lot of
I
kind
didn't
of
say
weird
that. Don't
things.
put words in my mouth.
You said that
I
it
said
was
it
better.
wasn't as bad as episode
Okay,
1.
fine.
I still
All
think
right, all
episode
right.
1 is worse.
Bro, I don't know,
Fair.
bro. I think episode 2 is worse than episode 1 because they
Really?
destroy Willow. They call him a useless
Yeah, they
Yeah,
M
throw
word.
up on him.
they're all
Yeah,
bad.
see,
I
that's the
didn't
thing,
mind
and,
it
and
at all,
that's
but
that's
I
where
don't.
I'll really come just disagree with you. The very most is it is nowhere near as bad as Rings of Power because their
yeah.
their
Oh, yeah.
time continuity stuff is miles worse. Their dialogue, their logic connections are
The
miles worse. As
acting
bad
is
as
on
this
par.
is,
The acting is the same as Rings of Power,
Yeah.
equally bad.
Yeah.
The
Oh, I
the
don't know. I would say
dialogue
this is
is
way worse.
Yeah, this is way worse.
No,
In
way
Rings of
worse
Power,
than
you
Rings
still
of
have
Power.
Rings was
Adar.
so much worse.
In Rings of
Okay.
Power, you have Adar.
Okay.
And, well, you had Adar because he left the show.
Yeah. But you also have Sorsha, who's doing a good job acting. I don't like how she's being written, but she's
Yeah.
acting.
Mhm. Her
And-
dialogue
and
is oof.
the
Discount Mad Mortigan.
I don't even know his
No.
name. What's his name?
Borman.
Borman?
Remember,
Who
you
cares?
remember you're getting bored with him.
Why would you
They
name
know why
him
you're calling him
Boring
Bored
man.
so that they could make that joke. Don't you remember they made that joke in the thing because he was trying to tell the story and she was like, "Now I know why they called you
Oh, that
Boar
was
Man."
so disrespectful.
That was so dumb.
my
Oh,
gosh.
absolutely, but that's her character. She's a super
Bro, but-
disrespectful. Little,
I forgot about that.
That doesn't make her likable though. Like
I'm not saying it does.
You
But
want
it's just who she
characters that
is.
you can relate to and you are endearing.
Okay.
I've been wondering
See,
who's
that's
the
what I'm saying.
protagonist.
That's why
here.
this
I
is way
mostly like
worse.
Borman and
The point
and
I was
Willow.
making. Okay, I will say Willow acting is worse. Dialogue is
worse.
equally bad in both of them, but for
Mhm.
different reasons. This
Oh, yeah.
is bad because it's doesn't fit the time period, and Rings of Power dialogue is bad because they think that it's poetic, but it's really just stupid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It's-
much more
Equally
willing
bad, but for
personally.
very different reasons. Production quality, I think Willow's better.
Yeah, I think
I think
so.
Willow
Yeah.
looks better than Rings of
Costumes
Power does.
somehow
Yeah.
it's
And
somehow
it's
better.
clearly way cheaper.
Mhm.
It's probably because they don't make some
more
more
accuracy. They're both just insulting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They
will
probably
say
don't use the same amount of CGI. That's why it looks better.
the one thing that I will also give Willow, and this is no actual credit to itself, but that the world of Willow doesn't have as much of its own stuff to be messing
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
So the Rings of Power,
There's not enough. There's not as much established lore.
it like messed with established lore. There's a little bit of established lore in Willow, and they're really not
sorry,
doing
I
much to mess with
probably
because there's
spoke
not
wrong.
much.
I
there.
made a mistake, like Jennifer
Yeah.
Lawrence. Okay, I think so. It's slightly different. You're right. Yeah, Rings of Power just poops all over established lore.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and my
Willow
point being
Poops
is that
all
that's
over
not even
established characters.
Mhm.
well, yeah, and my point being is that that's not even really a credit to the Willow show because there's nothing for it to be messing up, and so it's not like it's doing a good job, not messing things up because there's nothing for it to mess up in terms of the lore to build on. So again, that's why for
But-
me, like I'm so much more angry at Rings of Power. Just there's just so much more nonsensical stuff. that-
Yeah, obviously.
I don't know.
But percentage-wise, they're around the same because the Rings of Power almost destroys a whole era. The Second Age
Mhm.
completely destroyed,
Messed.
and Willow basically destroys two of their main characters. Willow and Matt Mardigan, and it does not gets a good look for Sorsha either. So.
Okay, here's something too that I realized. So I actually watched the whole Val documentary that's on TV or something like that.
Oh,
And here's the
It's
thing:
good.
I didn't realize that those guys were actually married. Sorsha and Val Kim were,
Oh, really?
were married.
wait,
So I'm wondering if that's partly why they were he's not really part of this yet, or he's kind of been knocked because he's
He's not part of it because of his throat cancer.
Mhm.
Well, I know that. I mean, and obviously he's not going to be able to do a lot of voice acting and things like that. But to be his character knocked in that
Yeah.
way, right? And be like, oh, he's just such a trashy person.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but why? No, there are so many examples of Hollywood people who've gotten divorced and still have to work together, and it wouldn't even be the actress's choice. It would be the writers that made the choice
Yeah.
to say that Madmartigan is stupid.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The writers.
Yeah, and they got married after the movie.
Well, no, I know that. That's what. Yeah,
They
so
were right
after,
after.
yeah.
But I 100% agree. Yeah, Sorsha in the movie also gave me very healthy male interest in redheads. She was. Oh, she's. I mean, I think she's still. I mean, for her age, she looks pretty.
Sure.
She looks pretty dang
Yeah,
Sure.
good. But man,
yeah.
woo-hoo!
Clean her up,
Yeah,
you know,
the other good
makeup
redhead
on.
is,
She looks great.
Oliver musical. The girl in the
In
there.
Oliver?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember the actress's name, but
I think that movie was too depressing to like wake up feelings.
well,
With a
especially
boner, yeah.
how her character ends.
Seriously.
But this is a funny comment too. I should ask my sister about the physics of getting the girl getting the guy out of the well.
She's actually here. She's upstairs, but I don't think she's seen the episode, so
No,
she
no.
can't comment.
She got mad at me for almost spoiling it for her. And we're like, well,
Yeah.
spoilers, it's bad.
Yeah. The other thing that is
There
probably
are
going to make
lots of
you lose
things in
your
the house like
mind,
that.
bro. The one last thing that I wanted to add is that scene in
Don't
the
spank 'em.
beginning,
Let's spank him.
that scene in the beginning where the old lady, blacksmith old lady, it's like,
It was a
okay,
little odd, but
for
yeah,
sure you
whatever.
can, well, forgot about that, but the guy that she's putting the carcass on, it's a redhead. So then she says that this carcass is only for the one that is meant to wear it, the shows and something, someone that is worth it,
It's
basically.
worthy. Yeah.
Yeah, worthy,
He knows,
that's
right?
exactly
Yeah.
worthy.
You can
And-
always toss out a Spanish word, and Alan and I will probably be able to figure out what.
They're
They're
definitely going to make the redhead lesbian wear the
Yeah,
character.
yeah,
Probably.
she's going to be the worthy warrior that, oh my god, so bad, bro. My Mardigan was not man enough to get that carcass.
There,
She's
I pointed it out in my video today. In the fight scene in this episode, she's fighting. She's dual wielding her sword and her sword scabbard.
Well, at one point they come
Not
together
that far.
too.
Huh?
At one
What?
point they actually are joined together too.
Yeah, there
It
was
was
something
so
weird. With,
stupid.
there was some
was
there
so
was some
dumb.
weird stuff. I
The
wasn't
thing
sure.
is,
what was
it
going on
shows
with that.
her pull her sword out of her scabbard, but this was like 15 minutes into the fight.
Well, yeah, but that's what
He
I'm
was
saying.
fighting
So-
with something else. At some
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
it
that's what I'm
shows-
saying.
it showed her
It's
fighting with that
essentially-
like that staff thing. I forget what those are called. It's never
help-
shown her
like a
use that
helper, yeah.
weapon before. She's always
Yeah, that was
trained
a
with
little
the
odd.
sword.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that she used that, like that transformed into that one. And at first I was like, what the heck is she
Oh,
fighting
wait,
with?
her sword and that thing is
Yeah,
the same
so-
thing.
Yeah, they're the same
I have
thing.
to go back and watch it because that's even more retarded.
I know, and I was like, what in the world? And then she broke them apart, and I was like, oh, that's her
Huh.
scabbard.
It was so stupid. Okay, so her scabbard.
Attaches
Sorry,
to
she
like
she
the-
can take
yeah,
her
they
sword
were
out
joined
and flip
together.
it around and have
Yeah.
a thing. There's
Right? I was like, that
no
is-
way that would be an effective weapon. It would just snap.
yeah.
Well, because
Magic.
here's the thing, even looking at her design, when I saw her handle of the sword, I was like, that's a ridiculous handle for a sword because there's no guard or anything like that. Nothing. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, now thinking about it, it's probably because that handle goes into the other end of the scabbard, and that's that. Then they become.
Okay, I'm
one
gonna
big
have to go
weapon.
watch. I think you're right though,
Mm.
but
You're
that
probably
just makes
right.
it so much worse.
Yeah.
or better for us. Oh no.
Yeah, but I was like, that is so weird. Where did she get this weird weapon? And
Yeah,
then she
I
broke
was
it up.
wondering
I
where
was
that
like,
came
oh,
from.
I will say though,
Yeah.
my favorite part of the episode was what's the princess's name?
Elora?
Which one?
No,
Kit?
no,
Kit.
she's not a princess.
Uh,
She's
Kit.
the promised one. She's the queen.
Kit.
Kit.
Kit was when. What's the other character's name? The redhead.
Borman.
No, the
Valentine.
Jade?
Valentine. Oh, the bad guy? The
The
bad
bad
guy
guy
is
is Valentine. The redheaded girl is Jade.
Okay,
Jade,
best
right?
part of the episode, hands down, is when Jade tells Kit that she sucks at sword fighting and was letting her win their entire lives. together.
seriously.
Yeah.
First off,
I saw that and I was like, Yeah, baby.
But also, she said that she was told by her father figure. I don't.
Her mother.
That was actually her father, or just.
Told by
Anyways,
Valentine.
She was told by Valentine to train Kit, right?
No, it was the mother. I think it was Sorsha that told.
Sorsha.
her
Okay,
to
whatever.
train
So she's supposed to be
Sorsha
training her.
paid her to be friends with Kit.
So if you're trying to train someone, do you let them win?
Why
all
would
the
you
time?
lie to them?
Right?
That's not how you train someone.
It's
I know.
literally the joke from Kung Fu. Kung
Fix
Pao.
of Power?
It's from Kung Pao.
Yeah.
We trained him wrong on purpose as a joke. Like that.
Bro, but now it makes sense. Now
It's
it makes
so
sense
good.
because the first scene in the whole show, the fighting scene with
Mhm.
him, and it ended with the words took down.
Yeah, I was going to say, although
we
unfortunately,
totally
I don't
skipped
think we
over
can give the
Gilbert.
writers that much credit
Mhm.
that they purposely make her look bad because she's poorly training her. I think they were supposed to look like they actually knew what they were doing, but that just Redhead is better than she's doing. But so unfortunately I don't think we can give them that much credit.
We
Exactly.
totally skipped over the beginning of this episode, which is just as egregious as the fight scene at the end. The fight scene at the beginning, they're talking to Valentine. You said was the
Valentine.
guard, Valentine, and
With a V.
for some reason he's taking ages to pack Alora Dannon up on her boat. On his horse. Like they showed that like the bush tree grew. Like so time has passed and he
Yep.
still hasn't left.
Yep.
He's still picking up a tiny girl and putting her on a horse.
You already know he's having fun with her.
Oh no.
If Disney's involved, probably. So he hasn't left yet, and then they monologue for like 10 minutes to ask him his motives when he's clearly been possessed by evil magic, and that's his motive. And then he says, you won't be able to fight us alone. And then he says, what makes you think that I'm alone? And all of the sudden, 6 other people teleport.
Yeah, they kind of come out of
in
absolutely nowhere.
full plate mail
Ninjas.
without making a sound. They just teleport behind these characters. There's not even an establishing shot showing that they were hiding under a bush or behind a tree. They're just there all of the sudden, and then the fight scene goes on. It's ridiculous, and I included one of the shots in my video today. This is a side point, but when Kit is about to be killed and Lesbian helps her, she like dives to block the sword. Kit would still be dead.
Well, and so the best part of that is
the
before
sword
that,
hit and then keep going.
before that, especially because before that, at the beginning of the fight, Valentine charges over and takes a swing at her and like demolishes a tree or cuts hard into
snaps a tree in half, and then the next scene they're just
strength.
doing some regular
The
parrying.
rest of the time, and then she can parry just by like, and
yeah.
Like,
but
nobody
seriously,
should be
she's
able to do that.
extended like
He
this
forgot.
No
Yeah.
leverage,
on her
yeah.
tippy toes, holding the sword out. Like try and push my arm down, David.
Bro, she has
Literally have zero leverage.
she has lesbian strength, boy. She has lesbian
It's
strength.
like in what's it called? Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the vegan
Mhm.
powers. She's got,
Yep.
Yeah. But they added a sound effect. When she dives in and the sword comes down, they made a sound effect that went for no reason. And it's the weirdest thing. Go watch that scene and you're like, why is that sound there? It was like
it's
to
her
add
emotional connection to him that gave her
No,
the
it's
strength.
the
I
lesbian
don't know.
magic.
It
It's the
was
lesbian
lesbian
power
magic.
racing through her veins.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I love
But
this
then-
show, bro.
But then
So
Willow is just bumbling the whole time because he's useless.
And
And then he
throws a smoke
he
bomb.
throws a smoke bomb, and
That
then
lets them get away.
everyone disappears.
With
I
the door.
don't understand what what was the point of the smoke bomb? He sent the guy to go free Alora, and then before he could, he throws a smoke bomb, and then somehow the people in the bad guys, I guess, can see through the smoke, which again would bring up the question, why would you throw a smoke bomb? Because they're able to navigate through the smoke past the guy who's literally holding Alora's hand and then pull the horse away from him in the middle of this, like, it's nonsensical.
Yep.
And then there was that throwaway line afterwards where he says, I packed that special powder in the wagon.
In the wagon. And then the
And then
lightning
he
just
says, man,
strikes
that's
it
dangerous. And then the lightning hits it.
and it explodes.
No, but that would just be like the explosion it showed was just like regular lightning explosion.
Exactly.
It was a little extra. A little extra.
Yeah.
Not
but-
as big as would be merited by the like, oh, you packed a thing full of that wax. That's dangerous. Not
Yeah.
quite big enough for that, but it was a little bit bigger than a
I don't know.
Yeah.
And if you haven't watched Shad Brooks from Shadiversity and Night's Watch ranting about the wagon in this episode, like, there's no reason for us
Like,
to
getting
even talk
stuck in
about
the
it
ditch
here.
part?
Like, go watch his video complaining about how stupid the wagon was, because it is so freaking funny.
Well, the busted off
He's
wheel,
like,
and then
like,
how
this show was so bad,
What?
it made me racist against wagons. Why did they not immediately ditch the wagon?
Yeah.
They're trying to chase someone down. Like, no, we need to, like, they're taking their time, playing some cards, chatting up, and preventing the people on horseback from catching up.
Talking about some mojo.
And then at the end of the episode, they get rid of the wagon anyway. So it's not like the riders were attached to the wagon. They're just so incompetent. They don't know how real life works.
And it wasn't even
Apparently, they actually think in a situation, hey, if my best friend got kidnapped, I don't know, I'd take like a train ticket, maybe, I'd go out for lunch and then go try and, see if I can hitchhike to try and find my friend. No, you're gonna go like steal a car and chase down, like.
I'll even give it a little bit of the like on a long quest like that. You're not going to be able to be supplied very well with just the horses that you are riding yourself. You need to have a pack horse or something like that. So there's something there, except to your point, the fact that it's that damage and slowing you down that much, and then, but you save it, and it being destroyed didn't even like come into play with. It wasn't like, oh, by doing
the wheel
because it
broke
was there to be
and
destroyed meant
they
that
were
something.
delayed multiple times because of the wagon. And
it's
at
it's
the
a
beginning
weird
of the
plot
episode,
device.
they're
Yeah.
only seconds behind if they want to catch up.
But hey, it's okay because somehow they got ahead of them anyway. So
I know, and the writers are so incompetent that they genuinely think that that's what would they write in a plot that Alora ran away. So not only do they catch up, they get there first before Alora and the bad guys do.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah,
where like they get into her lair. They're like,
here first.
wait, how did you get here?
Same scene from Kenobi when they're going through the tunnels.
Yep.
Oh yeah, seriously.
By all accounts, it does not make sense.
I think probably there are many writers just doing non-communicating with each other, just adding things to the story that makes no sense. Oh, the car broke down, and then the car breaks down again and gets stuck, then the freaking car explodes just for a joke, just for a punchline. Which, Jesus,
like this is what happens when you don't hire people based on merit. This is a symptom of hiring because of diversity so that you can virtue signal, and because of the optics. Hey, we hired because of the color of people's skin so that we can look good, rather than hiring people who know how to write or act.
And it's just like the Wheel of Time. It's just like Rings of Power. All these shows just are interchangeable.
Yeah,
are just one of the same thing. Garbage fantasy.
It's so sad because the movie is so good, and there was so much potential for this to
Yep.
be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And I bet-
hard. It's hard to mess up this badly, because
Yeah.
like Jared said, there wasn't with with Rings of Power, you have a bunch of passionate nerds who are going to say, "Hey, you got this little teeny detail wrong." Okay, so your art with Willow, there wasn't a whole lot of lore to mess up.
Mm-hmm.
So you literally had a free canvas,
Mhm.
and you still had to bash on the few things that people liked from the movie.
On
Yeah.
the man.
Tear them down.
On the
like-
man.
That's what they do with everything. They create an IP, or they find an IP that people love, and they take it and they pervert it for their own stupid politics and crappy writing, because it's not just about making stories that have representation. If they wanted to do that, they could write their own stories, and they don't want to write their own stories because it's about the message. It's about the symbolism of taking something that we love and perverting it into something that they like.
But they cannot even write
And
the
the people that support this stuff, they don't even watch this crap.
Mhm. Exactly.
Exactly.
They don't even write good stories of their own. You know, they wrote Strange Wars, which is probably one of the biggest flops in history,
Yeah.
losing almost 200 mil, 180 mil, something crazy
Although
like that.
I do applaud them for once they tried to do their own thing. But guess what? Your people don't watch it either.
Mhm.
I watched it. It was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay.
Yeah. SG, I like your comment here. You're almost right. Land from the Wheel of Time probably did teach them how to teleport, except for he wasn't the one to recognize the Quarry's Tale. That was Nynaeve, right? Nynaeve taught Lan how to recognize
Yes.
Moraine.
Lan can pass along the
Yes.
information.
Nynaeve taught the man who spent his entire life as a tracker
Yeah.
how to track the woman he spent his entire life with.
Yes. So,
Ah!
Oh my god. I still debated myself which is worse, the Wheel
We
of
were-
Time, Rings of Power, or this garbage.
We were comparing them. They're all
It's
bad,
tough.
but for different reasons. But
Mhm.
but Willow, it feels very much closer to the Wheel of Time than it does to Rings of Power for me. Like
Mhm.
Rings of Power is bad because they spent so much money on it and it was still incompetent. Whereas Willow and the Wheel of Time are more competently told stories, but they are actively attacking the
the source
the
material.
source material more.
And I
Yeah.
don't even necessarily pick up on that as much with Willow yet.
The
I
opening scene of the show, man.
I see what you're saying. When we had some of this discussion last time where I don't feel like it's as actively bashing. I still think that they're leaving it open and they're not quite 100% bashing. They're a little disrespectful. They're a little less than reverential towards it. But to me, it doesn't feel as disrespectful as Rings of Power was.
Yeah. I mean, they are just.
It's a completely different genre from the movie. Why would you
Yeah.
make a sequel to the movie that doesn't even feel like it feels that fits in the same genre?
That's nothing new, though. That's
It's
really nothing
YA.
new. Yeah.
CW garbage.
hmm
That's all I
But
can say.
I enjoy CW shows, so I can, you can rocks me for that. But
You're the only one.
that's why I'm not as bothered by that, and I'm not
Rocks in the
as
comments.
attached to it. Yeah, rocks in the comments.
I mean, but
You were
can
doing-
probably.
You were doing so good today, Jared.
You know,
You were on a roll.
I wanted you
You
to
had
feel
to
a little
open
bit
your
better about
mouth.
yourself.
You had to
were
open
agreeing you were agreeing with me too much, and I knew that was making you feel bad, so I wanted you to feel better. I had to throw myself under the bus.
But one thing is, turning off your brain to watch a CW show or a popcorn movie. But the other
if that's
thing
what you're expecting, yeah. But that's not
yeah,
what I
you
would
expect
expect
that
from,
exactly.
from
Exactly.
And I think
Willow.
that's where I'm coming from. Is I pick up immediately from what's going on. Like I see this is what it's going to be, and so I'm in the mindset for a CW show. I also, even though I've seen the other movie and I like the other movie, I'm not nearly as attached to it as you guys are. So I'm not as precious about the fact that it's a CW show instead of feeling as much
Yeah.
like it. Although I can't, again, in no way am I able to say anything that's like defensive about this at all. Because you're right, all this is kind of garbage stuff, but I can roll with it. But
Well, you're wrong.
I mean, I think there are some effects that are good. Like for example, when Willow did do the magic.
Oh yeah,
that
no,
effect was
the
pretty
effects
cool.
are fine.
And that's why I'm
The
watching
effects
it, right?
look
Because
better than
all
Rings of
that was
Power.
cool.
And
Mhm.
I think they nailed the aesthetic too. I think that it was one thing I was worried about from the trailers is I didn't really get a Willow vibe. I was just getting a generic fantasy, and I think a lot of the aesthetics of the show has matched. I think the original tone. It's like a grim dark fantasy. It's not generic fantasy, and I think they're doing a good job on that. It's just the acting is completely tonally different.
Yeah.
Well, the story.
The first
right.
2 episodes I feel like were much more generic, pretty CWE fantasy looking. This episode I think is the one that started getting the feel closer. It's still not the same kind of gritty, grungy kind of low budget feel that the original one was that it gave me because it was older, but it did feel more grimdark in this episode. So that's another reason why I feel like this episode was better than the first 2 in that term at the very least, that it's closer to matching to the aesthetic and feel of the original movie.
I hear you there, and especially with the design of the were rat, even though it was a stupid name for it. But I don't know. I think
but the fights were worse. And the dialogue was
the fights were pretty terrible. Yeah,
and the dialogue was worse, and the teleportation ability. So
honestly, for me, the thing that bothers me the most is the fights, because the fights and I don't even hate that they're not good, but I can look at them and just be like, yeah, this is kind of weird and dumb, and the teleporting people and the like smashing a tree but then not being able to smash through a horizontal block like that. Those sorts of things are really, really dumb. But I don't even mind the dialogue. It's dumb. It's not good. It doesn't line up with anything. But the modern dialogue isn't. I've seen much more egregious examples of modern languagey stuff in a fantasy show. I can roll with the little bit that they've been doing here. That's me, and I know that doesn't work for you guys. I've seen much worse, so that doesn't bother me. Yeah.
I worry about what you watch.
I watch all kinds of crap.
There's the other girl.
This is funny. I was going to bring up something. I was going to bring up a correction from last week's show, but it looks like Jared was right about something else. So the Nelwyn sidekick in the TV show who gets killed in this episode, you said that he was recast that he's a different actor.
It's a different character, different actor, different character.
But after that episode, after we talked about it, I went and looked up on Wikipedia, and it said the opposite. It said that it was someone reprising his role as a character from the movie, and I looked it up, and it said it was him. And that has now been scrubbed from Wikipedia because you were correct. It is a different character with a different name and a different actor, and he looks exactly the same.
He does.
But the character's name is different, and the acting is different. So
the actor is different.
You are correct on that
it's
again.
Migosh in the movie.
But it's funny
Silas
because Wikipedia was wrong.
Marmouche.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah. Wow.
In the TV show, it's Silas, and in the movie,
oh my gosh, Migosh.
Migosh,
They
exactly.
look so similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Migosh has more curly hair, but like they've got a similar kind of face and build.
Yeah,
too.
the eyes and the nose and the chin are pretty similar. Yeah, I was confused by that as well. And I'm grateful that you brought that out because that was actually accurate. Yeah, I looked that up as well.
I was convinced at first watching him that it was the same, and then I heard them saying, and I usually have subtitles on.
But even after we had that conversation, I still thought you were wrong because of how much he looks like him.
Yeah, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
The other thing that for me was I looked up to see the actor from Willow and this actor were different actors. But yeah.
Yeah,
And I tried to do the same thing, and Wikipedia was telling me no, it's the same guy, and he's reprising his role.
Yeah.
And I was
See,
going to
wrong,
rub it in
but
your face.
IMDb.
I was going to rub it in your face, and I have just now, and that sentence had been removed.
Yeah, that's weird. They could have just recast him and said it was the same character because they
could have gotten away with that, I think.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It almost seems like it's something that I feel like they should have, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to be too mad about it. But it's like that would have been cool. It would have. I think it could have made this episode and the death of Silas a little bit more impactful if we had been believing, and if it had been the guy that he had been with on his journey. That makes a lot of sense. But maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't want to recast. Maybe they felt like, no, we want him to be his own character. I guess I don't know. So I can't be too mad at that, even though I feel like
Willow
it could have been better.
Is Willow the only midget from the original movie who's still alive? Then
I thought
Well,
that.
I'm so sad right now.
Yeah, I don't think. I think that there's some of them that are still alive, but most of them are not.
That sucks.
So sad, bro. I was thinking the very same thing in the last episode. I was like, did everyone die? Why is the village so small?
No,
Couldn't they
okay,
find
Tony Cox is still alive.
Oh,
Von Carr. I think he's supposed to be. I think he was in it in episode 2.
Maybe
he's the black
I don't
one.
know.
Okay.
no, he wasn't there. No, I would remember him because he is one of my favorite little people. He's so funny.
I think he's still alive.
I hope so because he's hilarious.
He's still alive. He's still alive.
He should be casted more. He should be casted more. Fuck Tyrion, bro.
He's great.
he's the reason. He's the reason that no little people are getting casted anymore.
Anyways,
well, I'm depressed now. Yeah, F's in the chat for the little people.
oh my gosh.
Because she spelled the gosh earlier. I like that. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
My gosh. Oh my god.
Wow. That's okay.
Yeah, anyway.
Was there anything else to talk about? Oh, they're going to the big scary castle from the first movie.
Yep, they're going into Bavmorda's castle. Does anybody think that the crone is not Bavmorda?
Probably.
I'm guessing Bavmorda is the queen.
It's probably her spirit.
It's probably going to be like some lesbian black chick.
Yeah. Could be. I don't know. I just like the
no wrong.
Transgender lesbian black chick. Sorry.
Except
the
for
way
that
that
being
they're
a villain. They can't do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that wouldn't be okay.
The way that they're framing it.
Right, it's going to be an Asian who couldn't get into college.
A redhead Asian.
That's the bad guy.
The way that they're framing it, they're making it seem like, oh, the crone is some new greater evil behind the scenes and everything, but I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Bavmorda because all the things line up with they're trying to banish her and the crone's only afraid of Elora. And
we're all wrong. We're all wrong. It's Mad Mortigan.
Oh, Mad Mortigan.
There you go.
Yeah.
The crone is just going to be the idea of white supremacy.
Of course. Yeah.
Incarnate.
Trump. No, bro, it's Trump.
It's Trump.
It's Trump, bro. Orange. It's going to be orange. Or
It's not the orange hair. It's the orange face.
It's Val Kilmer in a wheelchair with sides on his wheel. Honestly, I'd kind of be okay with it at this point. I'd just be happy to see Val Kilmer, and I would want to see him kill a bunch of these people. So,
oh man,
wow.
Yeah, it's sad. Very sad.
I think it's time for some bad takes, everybody. Unless anyone else has, and unless there's anything else stupid to say about this stupid show.
One more thing that was kind of stupid. So Elora pretends to do magic or is
Oh,
actually
yeah.
trying to do magic, but like, what's her plan? She repeats the same
She
words
does
to
the
make
spell
the stuff
that
grow,
she does a spell
Yeah.
that makes things grow.
and she's acting like
She's
I
gonna
can't
call
tell
down
if
some lightning or whatever.
trying to like fake them out and then escape, or if she's actually believing that something is going to happen. Like,
Yeah, I don't
like
know.
what's her plan? I don't. It's so weird.
Initially, the plan was to bluff, to be like, "Hi, I'm a Lordin, and I'm magical, and this, that, and the other." But then they called her bluff, and so she kind of
Right,
was
but-
just like going with it still. And I don't know whether she was thinking something would happen or what.
Yeah,
but
it was really
Yeah,
weird.
see, but that's what I love about this is this whole time she's untied and she can run away at any time. And what is she trying to do? She's like she hasn't
Exactly.
tried to escape herself this whole time. She's
well,
been
she did the one
untied.
time when she ran
back
away
of a
into the
horse.
woods and then got the ladies killed. Got the,
Yeah.
the lady jacks,
Yeah.
the lady lumber ladies, whatever.
Lady
Lumber
Jacks,
lesbians.
Lady Jane. I don't know what
The Lesbojacks.
the lesbian.
Yeah, but who else is gonna get hurt from collateral damage now if she tries to run? Who else?
The
No
next
one.
person she
Why is
runs
she
into,
not
I don't know.
running?
Yeah. Well,
Why
how
didn't
far
she
is she going
try-
to get if she runs?
Yeah.
Like, really, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but mostly, like, yeah, no, she's not going to get anywhere running, so no point to it.
Why didn't she try touching another guy's face? She clearly can
Yeah.
burn them to death with her body. Just take your clothes off and hug them. They die.
Seriously.
What was the movie where that was the resolution?
Are we thinking about Harry
Like, the
Potter?
finale was just like touching.
Yeah, it was Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. It's Harry Potter. It's Harry
Right,
Potter.
Quirrell, yeah.
He just
Yep.
touches him to death. That's a kind of a lame ending, if we're being honest.
Mhm.
I like Harry Potter, but it was silly.
Yeah,
all right. We got-
Actually.
Okay, bad takes. Here we go. Screen rants. Bad takes. All right. Here we oh no. From Variety, we've got John Leguizamo in the news again, saying watching white guy Al Pacino play a Puerto Rican on Carlito's Way was odd and surreal. Almost as odd as a Spanish guy playing a cartoon Italian plumber.
Yep. Yep.
Stop. Like I like you, John. Stop saying this stupid stuff. The audio is not.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating that they can pick and choose sometimes whether there's somebody who's white versus not white, because they're, Al Pacino is of Italian descent, and like, yeah, okay, come on, like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different cultures that have fair skin. There are a lot of Mexicans with very fair skin, like we talked about last week. Like, come on,
Dude, he just needs to close his mouth.
mm-hmm.
I used to like him. And it's oh gosh, it's so stupid.
Yeah,
Let's
I used
do
to
things
go
right.
watch. I used to go watch movies with him, and I thought that he was okay, and I thought
I-
that he always added to the movies.
Guess
not-
what? I like him in the role of Luigi. Okay? I like the Mario Brothers movie. It's horrible, but it's a good time.
Yeah, it's good fun.
I didn't mind it that a Spanish guy was playing an Italian. So shut up. Okay.
Yep.
We've got some news. I actually don't have a lot of bad takes. Most of it is just news. Because The Dark Tower is getting an adaptation. Did you guys hear about that? It's going to be Mike Flanagan, the guy that some people like here, who did The Haunting, and he did Midnight Mass, which I was a big fan of. I'm sorry, there are kids. I'm never streaming from here again, by the way.
Because your kids have never shown up behind the scenes of your.
Oh no,
game.
that's never happened. We're all family, man. Can you tell? Okay, so Mike, people are like freaking out about this on Twitter, saying it's the perfect man for the job, which I don't know if it's the perfect man. I will say it's a good choice.
Mhm.
Mike Flanagan's been solid. I've liked a lot of his stuff.
And he's getting better. Everything
Yeah.
looks like an improvement. So
And he's got. I feel like I can't say it's the perfect casting because he's got half of it right. Okay, it's Stephen King, and there are lots of horror elements in The Dark Tower, so that is a good choice with Mike Flanagan. He's good at horror. What he hasn't proven himself with yet is fantasy, because Dark Tower is also fantasy. So that's why I'm hesitant to say it's the perfect choice. I agree that it's a good choice.
good enough.
And I'm very curious about this project because it could be awesome.
Could be. Could very well be.
It's made by Amazon, so like a 50-50 shot. I'd say 40-60, 60-40. 60% it's going to be bad, 40% it could be good. But I like him. And you guys have probably seen more of his stuff than I have. I've only seen Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass is good.
Oh, Midnight Mass is so good.
Yeah,
There's a little bit of a half fumble at the end,
So
but
smart.
so
When I
good.
saw it, I could not believe that no one had done it before because
Yeah.
the parallels are so on point.
So good though.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I liked Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor. Haunting of Hill House more, but
I do need to watch that.
we also watched.
I would recommend Hill House for sure. Bly Manor was I did not like Bly Manor at all, but
yeah, like I said, it's a good choice for the horror, but it's still also a fantasy series, so I don't know if it's the perfect choice.
There's one other one that he did actually this last year that I didn't get around to. Midnight like another
Club
Midnight
or something like that. That one's more YA.
Okay,
I didn't watch it.
I heard mostly good things about it, but I didn't hear a lot about it. It did not hit like Hill House or Midnight Mass did.
Yeah. Well, but there's more news. So what's his face is basically in charge of the James Gunn. Is basically in charge of the DC now.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he's like their showrunner.
Yeah, so him and one other guy are now our co-CEOs or whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
He's the
I don't hate that.
Peter Safran and James Gunn together.
He's the guy that's planning everything out.
The two of them are the Kevin Feige of DC now.
The Kevin Feige and the other guy.
Kevin supposedly fills both of those roles really, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that decision. We'll see.
But
if it
but the news is that there's been a bunch of rumors, and he came out on Twitter and said, I'm not going to confirm or deny any of these rumors. Some of them are true, some of them aren't, and some of them aren't true yet. But this is the one that is true. Patty Jenkins is out. Everyone's trying to spin it like a good thing that she left the project. But there's no way that that's the case. She was fired for sheer incompetence.
she did good with the first one.
That's the thing. She's an okay director.
Not so much the writer. Yeah.
She is a horrible writer. I wouldn't even say she's a good director. She's okay.
Decent.
If people tell her what to do, she can do it. The problem is if she's given any creative control, it turns out horribly, i.e. Wonder Woman 1984 and her myriad of canceled projects. She was supposed to do a Star Wars movie. That's gone the way of the Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy.
It's gone the way of every Star Wars project.
Isn't happening, but it's obviously not going to happen.
It's gone the way of every other freaking Star Wars project that they cannot figure out how to do. Because first of all, they couldn't plan the trilogy, and then they went and did it anyway. And now they've at least figured out that if we can't plan these out, we can't make them. But they keep on trying to think about planning it, and then they don't because they suck at planning apparently.
Yep.
Sorry, I gotta address this comment really quick. Gorilla, I really feel your pain. I have to do this show. And I couldn't bring myself to watch Willow. I had to stop and start it 4 times to get through it. It was so bad. But Yeah, no, there's a bunch of news articles reporting on this, and they're all trying to spin it and say that Patty Jenkins left the project for creative differences, and that's obviously not what happened,
No,
guys.
everyone is
The-
that already knows.
He's fired.
The framing
She-
that I had seen was they canceled Wonder Woman 3, so she leaves or something like that.
Yeah, no, we don't even know if Wonder Woman 3 is canceled. All we know is that Patty Jenkins is out.
Mm.
It's not moving forward with Patty Jenkins.
Right.
Of
I see.
course, they're going to make Wonder Woman 3. James
I mean-
Cameron said another thing stupid this week.
Oh no.
It's not as bad as last week's, saying that testosterone is a toxin that needs to be purged from the body.
Yeah.
But he did say the only reason that Avatar, that the MCU is more popular than Avatar is because it has received more films.
It certainly helps, but that's not the reason.
And I mean that's the closest I could get to that is that the reason that Endgame made as much as Avatar was the buildup of all those films.
Mhm.
But
Sure.
overall, it's much more popular because people like it and it's well done. And I don't know.
Many factors come into play. You know,
Yeah.
the actors, the storytelling,
Yeah.
the original storyline from the comic books. So there are a lot of things to come into play. Not only the quantity, but the quality of those movies. Because nobody remembers Iron Man 3. Nobody remembers, I don't know, Captain Marvel, something like that.
Thor Dark World.
But
Thor Dark
also,
World.
it's also the diversity. The MCU has a bunch of different things, so
Right.
you can pick the ones that resonate with you.
Mhm.
If you don't like Avatar, I'm sorry, Avatar 2 is just more Avatar.
Right.
Well, so that's why it's like he's almost kind of right here, but just
Oh, like he's
kind of.
he's
There is a point
so
to be
close.
made, yeah.
He's so close to being right.
But
Yeah.
the problem is it's like his like the content of his argument is right, but then like the way that he's trying to wield it is wrong. You know,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
But
which that's pretty typical of a lot of things, I think. But
yeah.
I just hope that his movie flops. I hope so bad that he loses money with this movie because
Yeah.
he cannot
I
shut
don't,
his
I
mouth
don't
up.
think it will, but I agree with the sentiment.
I am curious to see how that turns out because
Same
while James Cameron like has this weird ability to make things just very successful. I mean, between Terminator 2 and you've got Titanic and the original Avatar, like
Yeah.
box office smashes and generally well liked, if not always enduring in the same way like Avatar itself. It's got criticism, but now because it's a sequel to one that's getting a lot of like people feeling like it's overhyped.
Yeah.
I don't know how well it's going to do. Whether or not it's
Yeah,
good,
that
whether or
was
not
the
it's
thing is that
enjoyable, you know.
The original Avatar, the first Avatar, was
Fine.
it was a decent story. It was just kind of boring and uninspired,
Mhm.
but it was a spectacle. It was a visual spectacle. It was something to go talk about because the visuals were absolutely stunning and beautiful, and 3D was brand new technology. But
Well,
the sequel
that's
took
pretty- yeah.
so
Well,
long.
the real D,
to come out.
real 3D, yeah.
The rest
Yeah,
of the world is kind
This
of
is a
caught up.
new kind of
Yeah, exactly. Everything else is just as beautiful, and people are over 3D now. Like it didn't
Mhm.
catch on, and part of it is because of the success of Avatar that everybody tried to cram their 3D render conversions in, and it just
Mhm.
killed it.
Exactly.
Which is it's sad and unfortunate, but
And
it'll be interesting to see how this second one does.
He
If it-
is literally the only reason why there hasn't been another Avatar movie.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But
The-
if this movie has a better story than the first Avatar, then
It could be huge.
It could be really,
Yeah.
really big.
And I'll
The-
even give you this. I'll even give you this, or kind of the because before Avatar came out, 3D did exist. It was just terribly
True.
done and poorly done, and people
Right.
got over it. They were over it and done with it until he came out with Avatar and actually made it a thing for a bit. So I don't see how it could be, but theoretically, he could do something with this that revitalizes or at least brings people back to interest in 3D, at least for this film. I'm kind of
True,
afraid
yeah.
of what that might mean for other people trying
Right.
again to do the crappy versions of 3D that happened after the last one. But
Yeah.
who knows? It's hard. It's hard for me to get like all on board with saying like, yep, it's not going to work because, yeah.
Did you see
he
the other
keeps on
Avatar
doing it,
news
you know?
though? They dropped another bombshell trying to promote Avatar 2,
Mhm.
which is it's so funny.
Yep.
They said don't worry guys, it's good because Avatar 4, the script is so good that when James Cameron showed it to executives, it left them speechless, or rather saying holy F. And they didn't give him any notes because it was so perfect. That doesn't tell us that the second movie is any good, though.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. If
It
takes
is
until the fourth
interesting.
movie to be good, this is not.
Yeah.
If this second movie comes out
Here we
and
go.
it's beautiful spectacle, but the story is not better than the original film, I don't see this franchise going anywhere.
Here's the quote. I can't tell you the details, but all I can say is when I turned in the script for The Way of Water, the studio gave me 3 pages of notes. And when I turned in the script for 3, they gave me a page of notes. So I was getting better. When I turned in the script for 4, the studio and the creative executives wrote me an email saying,
Holy
and I said, "Where are the notes?" And he said, "Those are the notes because it kind of goes nuts in a good way, right?"
You know what? This is
Or-
probably what happened.
Or
This could be the
Alternatively-
wrong thing. Yeah.
alternatively,
Mhm.
the studio executives keep getting emails about the next 12 Avatar movies, and the second one isn't even out yet, and so they're just humoring him.
Exactly. Or like the page of notes is like refer to page 3 of notes for Avatar 2.
Yeah.
Or how could they possibly give notes on Avatar 4 when they don't know how Avatar 2 is going to perform yet?
Or even how can they give notes on Avatar 4 if it was because it was so bad they're like, holy F, I don't even know what to do with this. This is just garbage. There's just no notes because it's so off. I don't know. I think it's more likely that they just didn't have anything to critique more because they didn't know where to go with it. But yeah.
But this is him.
I mean,
Yeah, right.
This is
SC's
him
got it.
saying it. Look, he said,
Yeah.
he said, "Where are the notes?" And they responded, "Those are the notes." End quote. And then Cameron says, "Because it's good,
Kinda
right?
goes nuts in it.
Because it's
Right,
good,
yeah. That's what
Right?
I'm saying.
right?
That's what I'm saying. It could be
Please,
them just
because
being
it's
like,
good."
holy
and then they
F.
ghosted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's crazy.
SG's got
Bro.
it in the chat. Holy F, give it a rest, Cameron.
That's the reason why I want this movie to flop, because
Yeah.
someone got to tell James Cameron that he's not as good as he believes he is. Like, have you heard Chris Gore talk about the Avatar Way of
Yes.
the Water?
Yes.
Oh my God, the way he speaks of it, I'm going to be laughing my arse off in the movie theater. Like, I'm going to try to go to to a theater that doesn't have too many people, so I can laugh it off. Come
I think
and
here's the thing. I think even if it is bad, though, I think it'll still make some money.
Sure.
If it's bad, it won't make as much money as Avatar 1, but Avatar 3 is where it's really going to flop
Exactly.
because people will say the last one was so bad, we're not going to go see it.
bro, but
it will have a delayed effect. If it is bad, it will still have a delayed effect because it's still James Cameron finally doing Avatar 2. If nothing else, people will see it out of morbid
Out
curiosity.
of curiosity, yeah. Well, because and that's the other thing about him talking about Avatar. It's an odd thing to me that they're looking at Avatar 4, and it's kind of like what you were saying of like, oh, we're talking about Avatar 4 here because he's literally said, unless I make enough money off of 2 and 3, I won't make 4 and 5 because he shot 2 and 3 at the same time. So,
but Dave,
and
I
he said
totally
something
agree
about
with David. If it's good, it could totally perform better than Avatar 1.
if it's good, yeah.
I mean,
I just don't know what it could do because, like you said, I can't imagine it doing a whole lot of innovation for the presentation like the first one did, where it like revolutionized us with the new 3D. So I can't imagine it doing that, and so they've got to come forward with the story. But
I mean,
even then,
well,
like
we
everybody's
know that the
so like,
3D
oh,
is
Avatar
good
was
because-
overrated. We're gonna go. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not the 3D is not the problem. It's the story.
Yeah,
If the
that's what I'm
story
saying.
is good and better than the original, then I see this franchise doing well. If it's not as good, or if it's just on the same level as the original, I think the third this movie is going to do well regardless because, like you said, they're curious to see what's going to happen next. But if this isn't good, the third movie's going to flop. It's not going to go anywhere from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I
And
meant
it-
more just in general, the technology, the presentation, whether it's 3D or whatever. If something they do something, even if the story is meh, but they do another thing that we aren't expecting that makes it a spectacle, I guess maybe.
Maybe.
But
Maybe. I mean,
Time will tell.
the water effects look cool. Like that
Yeah.
was the innovation this time. Is hey,
Yeah,
make
but
water look real. I mean,
yeah, sorry, I cut you off, Mexa. What were you saying? You
Huh?
were saying something, Mexa?
No, that it has to make 2 billion to
Yeah.
make the money. So
Mhm.
yeah,
it has to
that's
make a
a
long
high
one.
bar.
That's a high bar. There's only what
Mhm.
3 films that have done it in
It's
all.
been in
history?
production for 10 years though, so you know what do you expect?
Yeah.
All right, there's more though. So they just released some concept art for the design of the Tolkien warriors, and boy oh boy, it looks so good.
Oh my
Have you
god!
guys seen these?
What the crap is that?
I don't know. They got all kinds of stuff on their face. This
Well,
looks.
they did anyway.
That's
Look at that. Oops. This looks
It-
so bad.
It's bad, but it's better than the ones in the movie. The ones in the movie are so dumb and so dull.
Yeah.
These
It's
at least have
concept
some
art, eh?
color on it. You know, these at least
Yeah.
have some color on it. And that
What are you doing?
that weapon actually
that up,
looks that actually looks at least
That's the
Aztec.
worst
You know.
Mhm.
go back. Yeah.
The first one is the worst. What is going on with your computer, David? This one, the hair on this
Yeah.
guy. Just looks
My God,
It's an
ridiculous.
odd choice, yeah.
I still have not watched this movie because I'm not interested. I probably should though because I review movies. But moving on though, I don't want to dwell on
Just
that
take a
one.
pillow.
I really excited to get to this list. So this is CBR, one of our favorite
Oh yes.
websites of all time. This is their article on the top 10 worst written female characters in sci-fi history, sci-fi movies. Brace yourselves. It's funny. So number 10,
Sorry, who's the author of this?
some idiot, a J. Aravind.
Okay.
So the
An
10th
Indian
worst,
bot.
the 10th worst written female character is the chick from Jurassic World,
Okay.
which is correct.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
But
Very boring character who runs in high heels for some reason because
for the wrong reason, guys.
oh no.
Oh no.
It's because she wasn't as entertaining as Chris Pratt.
Oh.
The author literally says she wasn't independent enough.
Okay.
And Claire's reaction to Owen fixing his motorcycle at the beginning of the film and ogling over him showed that women still lose their composure in the presence of grease-stained manly men. And Claire is smart enough to handle multiple aspects of her own personality without taking emotional lessons from an admittedly hunky Velociraptor tamer. The author admits that he's hunky.
Yeah, that's terrible to find a man attractive.
Her
That's just
character
terrible trait.
was horribly written, but her being attracted to Chris Pratt was not one of those reasons.
Yeah.
That's understandable. I'm attracted to Chris Pratt.
Look at the guy. I mean, I was feeling a little bit weird, you know, in that scene. I was like, "What the hell?"
Okay.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Wow.
Moving on, though. Padme Amidala is relegated to romance, heartbreak, and painful childbirth, and being a queen as a teenager and becoming a senator
Right.
and doing very important things that have nothing to do with Anakin.
Mhm.
Stepping down from being a queen to be a senator and make a world of difference.
Saving
But
herself
she's
from
relegated
the
to the
arena.
love interest of Anakin Skywalker, apparently.
Wow. That's the same thing. That she's bad because she likes a man.
I will say in the third movie she does that's basically all she ends up getting in Revenge of the Sith. But in the previous two movies, she's an awesome character that does a lot of cool things. And I don't know.
CEO boss babe, not independent enough.
Yeah.
What's funny is they
Right.
literally call her out for being so independent that she forgets about her nephews, but apparently not independent enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bashing
number
Padme
8.
just for having a kid, for giving birth to.
How dare a
No.
woman want children? Number 8.
Oh my what?
Eve from Wall-E is a female robot because even space humans can't evolve beyond gender. You know, the thing that has literally always existed.
And perpetuates humanity, literally. Like,
Yeah. You know, the thing that's innate in literally every living organism.
yeah, and I think they explain in Wally why she's she's kind of a woman.
Yeah. But I mean, humans create things that, we relate to. So that's, of
Makes
course,
sense.
of course it doesn't have a gender. It's a machine, but it's just so stupid.
Yeah, it's not like they can bang. It's not like Wally is banging
Yeah,
Eva
right.
through
I think
her
they should have.
USB port or something like that.
Did you guys see that DreamWorks Robots movie? This is a tangent.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That making a baby scene was so
Oh
That's a good
no.
scene. That's a good scene.
I used
That's a good
I've
movie.
seen that,
That's
but
a
it's
good
been a
movie.
long
assembling
time.
a baby. You're like, hey, did we order a boy or there's a missing part here?
Everything's just like, yeah, great.
That's a good movie. That's a good movie. Good era of
Well, no,
animated
the best
movies.
joke was oh no, I missed the delivery, and that's okay. Making it's the fun part.
Exactly right.
That's not a bad movie.
Yeah,
No, it was a great era of animated movies.
yeah.
classic
Number
Robin
7.
Williams too.
Number 7.
Oh
yes.
yeah, dude.
We're not talking
All right,
about
all right.
robots anymore, okay? Number 7. Number 7 is Amelia Brand
Okay,
because
another
she's
good pick.
too emotional.
Oh yes, of course.
She was great on that movie. I don't get this point at all.
She was,
Like,
I know. I thought she was.
Disagree.
I thought she was fantastic in this
Mhm.
movie. But also, you have
a lot of nuances.
she was too emotional. But you have the other guy. Shoot, what's his name? Great wacko. The Lexus guy.
Yeah.
You have
Matthew McConaughey.
Gosh.
what?
Matthew.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey has like a 10-minute scene where all he's doing is crying. But we have to criticize the female character for showing emotion.
Yeah, they want men to show more emotion, and then they're criticizing women for doing the thing that they want human
But
beings
also,
to do.
like, when is she too emotional?
When her dad doesn't come back.
No, when she's talking about Dr. Wolf Edmonds, the guy that got lost in Mars.
Oh, it's because she believes in
No,
love.
not Mars.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's it. She likes a man.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she basically
still believes
seems.
that love
I mean,
can
in her eyes, she seems
can
for the guy.
transcend time and space.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 6 is Jennifer
What?
Parker, is Maddie McFly's high school sweetheart and token girlfriend.
Okay.
Okay, sure, but
Yeah.
the movies weren't about her.
Mhm.
Also, she gets a lot of character development in the second movie, and even
Definitely.
more in the third.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not so much in the first movie because she's not in it.
Because she didn't go back to the past. You know.
Exactly.
Like you get to
She
see her
becomes
as an old
yeah.
woman in number 2. Like it's
different actress, but yeah, same character.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's
Uh,
dumb. So
mhm.
are they complaining that she didn't have a prominent role in the first one?
no,
Is
they
that
were
what they're
just
saying?
complaining that she was just the trophy, I guess.
Side character, just
Yeah.
side character.
There's at
Token.
least something there, but yeah, it's kind of like, well, that wasn't the story they were telling.
She's a token girlfriend who whispers sweet nothings into the adolescent protagonist's ear to
What?
get both him and the audience all hot and bothered.
What the hell?
When?
Never.
At the very end when she's glad that he's back? When does this happen? She's barely even in the movie.
At the very end, probably. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
they are
could,
talking about
there's a better argument to be made that his mom trying to bang him making the audience a little bit more hot and bothered.
And confused.
Confused.
Yeah.
Very much confused.
Slightly aroused, but mostly confused.
Just the healthy, the healthy amount.
Yeah. Gosh.
Those are great movies. I need to watch them again. All right.
Mhm.
Number 5 is someone from Akira, and I haven't watched it, so I don't really know how to comment on it.
I don't know what that is. Is that one of?
No, Akira is that really famous anime where he does the slide on the motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
That's like the shot that everyone like
copies,
the slide.
The Akira slide. That's.
I mean, it looks really freaking cool. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. Tell us in the comments if this is a bad take. Apparently, it's because she was a skeletonized version of what a real person could be. Let us know if that's stupid. I'm just going to err on the side of caution and say that that's a bad take. Number 4 is Vasquez from Alien, or Aliens.
Okay, that
is a female character who embodies toxic masculinity.
What the hell?
Yeah, I'm confused by that statement.
Isn't that what you guys like, though?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that what you've been trying to do with every female character that you write nowadays? Is
She's
make
so
them
freaking
more
cool.
like men?
She was
And
freaking cool.
She was an example of it done right too, because she's gun
Because
toting, right?
because she accepted the fact that she was a girl in a man's world and
Right.
rolled with it.
Exactly. She's not pretending to be
She was one of the boys.
Yeah.
And she was freaking awesome. That's right. You heard it here first. Women should be more like boys.
I mean, lesbians,
I don't understand how they can complain about this. That's literally what they've been trying to copy.
Yeah, Vasquez was awesome. She saved her life. She risked her life and literally gave it to save Ripley. So
She was,
it says there.
She probably had not the most. She was one of the most characterized characters from that movie because there are so many.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
But yeah, you're right. She's one of the most.
Number 3 is Persephone from The Matrix, who was nothing more than a jilted wife.
I don't remember her character enough to comment.
It was kind of the point, though. Has there never been a jilted wife in real life? Is it bad to write about real things? Also, she's barely in the story.
So apparently, reading that first sentence, they're mad because originally she was supposed to be a gender fluid character, and she's not. So that's the
Wachowskis had
problem.
originally intended for her to be gender fluid,
Even though that wasn't a term back then.
and nevertheless they were occupied. Okay, so that's what she was. So she was poorly written because, in hindsight, She could have been transgender. Okay.
Ding, ding.
So 2,
They just hate Monica Bellucci.
Corbin Dallas describes Lilo in crudely anatomical terms. Yeah,
That was kind of the point.
Mhm.
that. I mean, yeah. She was created to be the perfect woman, which I wouldn't have gone with that actress.
Mhm.
With
if
orange
that was
hair.
the case, but
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, that
I
was
don't
the
really
look.
have anything to
It's
say.
not my type, but that's definitely. I mean, that was her purpose, right? That was why.
Mhm.
But
And I guess maybe that's the criticism is that
Like
like
the
the only
first
purpose
scene
they
she's
had for
in,
him, but
she's
like
completely nude. She's
yeah.
in like little like toilet paper wraps. Right?
They mentioned
Of
that
course
the
he's gonna
thermal
comment on her skin
bandages
before he
or whatever.
meets her naked.
Not like she's going to say, "Hey, nice dental floss," you know.
But,
She's-
but also,
yeah.
this isn't even a comment on her character. This is a comment on his.
On his reaction to her character.
Mhm.
God forbid a woman stumble into a man's apartment naked, and when someone asks him what she looks like, he doesn't mention her skin.
Yeah.
Thermal bandages. Sorry,
Yeah.
it wasn't toilet paper.
May as well
She
have
was a good character, though. Okay. Number 1.
was-
I can't remember what number 1 was. It's it's Natiri.
Ah.
Because she should have been in charge. All I can say to that is no one cares.
Yeah, not like the
That-
other
that-
guy
she-
had
she
actual.
did actually do a lot in the movie. Like she kind of
Right.
was a strong leader.
Yeah, she put an arrow through a robot. So
I mean, she was
Yeah.
the Pocahontas character equivalent, right?
literally,
Mhm.
She was the crux
So
of the
he's-
story.
But
almost.
again, I think where they're criticizing here, and maybe there's at least a little bit to this, but that the story is framed from his perspective, and it's like, yeah, whatever. It's a story, and she was still a strong character, strong female character. She was a strong character, period, and she was female, and that's what you're wanting, right? I don't know.
yeah, but
I mean, Martina, I mean, people have eyes, right?
right.
Yeah, no, this
Yeah,
is
and what's his name described Lilu's eyes? Blue eyes.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, people
Yeah.
have eyes.
he
described
he
it.
said like 4 things before he said she had
And-
great skin,
And I was gonna say,
Nine.
like,
blue eyes, long legs, and great skin.
while not the most I guess like
I probably would have thrown in orange hair for some reason.
right. Well,
There's
again, while
multi-
not the most like PC or whatever you want to say about it, like that's really not the most crude way he could have described her.
Mhm.
Right? Like I
Right.
can
He
think
could
of a
have been
lot
a
of worse
lot
things he
worse.
could have said.
You gotta say small titties,
That
That was
okay.
restraint.
Take the average
nice
man,
ass.
take the average man, throw a naked woman into his apartment, and then ask him to describe her. This
Ah.
response is tame.
Oh
Very
my!
true.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's one more take, and it's from an idiot on Twitter who was complaining about how we complain about Mary Sue's Ray Skywalker and Captain Marvel being perfect and not having any flaws. And so his response to that is, it's weird that dudes never complain about how Batman is literally perfect at everything. It's almost like he's never read anything that Batman's been in, because he's pretty much exclusively known for his flaws.
Yeah.
His emotional
Sometimes
damage.
he's almost. Sometimes he's an
Yeah.
asshole. Sometimes he's not even good. Sometimes
Mhm.
not a
Right.
like character, and people even sometimes
His-
root for the
His
enemy.
abrasive personality frequently gets him into trouble, like with other superheroes.
Yeah, and the thing he did with Nightwing, like, come on, man, Robin.
Mhm.
How on
Yeah.
earth is Batman perfect at everything? Unless they're talking about how he's good at fighting, which he spends like 20 years training
Yeah.
to be able to do, and spending
Mhm.
all of his money on like an exoskeleton so that he can.
And the
This
time with
makes
Ra's al Ghul,
no-
like it's insane.
Yeah.
Like
And I
he
suppose-
trains like crazy.
I suppose there's something to the idea of like he's good. He has a lot of good skill. Like he's skilled at lots of different things.
Right.
But our
Look,
problem
this
is
one of the
that more often
responses.
than not that these Mary Sues are not only skilled at lots of different things, and there's no explanation given as to why they're that good at them, but they are also incredibly likable. Where at the very least with Batman, his personality is often the biggest problem.
Look, this is one of the responses. Also weird how Superman isn't a Mary Sue. That's the point of Superman. Is that he is a god who has to figure out how to fit in a mortal world. That's
Yeah.
the entire point of the character. When we complain about it, it's regular people who have no training who are all of a sudden perfect at everything.
Right.
This could
And I mean,
be a worse comparison.
people always point out how useless Batman sometimes is.
Look,
Well, at least in the movies, you know, in Justice League, if you even can call that a movie.
Yeah. If we were taking the comparison, then he would. I don't know.
look, they're complaining. They're complaining about how Batman is always prepared and has a plan for everything.
It's smart.
That's because he spends time planning everything. That's the opposite of a Mary Sue.
That's the only thing he
Putting
has.
the time in to find a solution rather than knowing it off the top of your head.
Yeah.
They'll also not point out the fact that I don't see any of us complaining that Wonder Woman has all these amazing powers and is a great. Like
Mhm.
we're not. It's not the female character. It's the way that you portray some of these particular female characters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The whole scene when Wonder Woman was running through war, and nobody said nothing about how ridiculous that scene was. It actually was cool. Everyone was praising it. It was like, yeah, hell yeah, you know, go
Mhm.
ahead, Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
do
Good
your
scene.
thing, baby.
Those of us complaining about Mary Sue's we're not complaining about legitimately good female characters that are there. You know.
Right.
That's a bad take. It's like they don't even listen to the argument at all. They're just
Mhm.
they're just so
But that happens
Yeah,
on both
their
sides,
head's so
though.
far
If
up
we're
their
being
own
completely
butts.
honest.
that they're just
Yeah,
they just-
and
they
I
just
hate that.
men.
Yeah,
They just hate men, and so they're
Yeah.
incapable of seeing reason or logic.
yeah, but you're right. It happens both ways, and I
Mhm.
hate always. I hate as well when it happens in the right,
Mhm.
and yeah, when it's just dumb, and the argument is just dumb, and yeah, like this argument is just brain dead.
Well, okay, shoot, we're already over 2 hours, so we do need to wrap it up. But we need to talk about 1988, which means Jared
1899.
1890,
1899 or
1899.
I do it every time too.
Dyslexia, bro.
Well, the problem is Willow was released in 1988, and I've had to write it like 7 times this week. So 1988 and 1899 are okay.
Mhm.
It's been a tough week. So Jared, you need to leave because you haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it, but
All right.
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to watch it.
That's
Watch
is.
it, bro. It's good.
This will
Been
be
good.
episode 4 next week, right?
No, this was episode 4.
For-
Episode 5 next week.
Fine.
Okay, so
We're
5
on
next
episode
week.
4.
You got a lot to catch up on.
I know, Mark. I'm sorry you didn't like 1899.
It's
I'm enjoying
definitely
it.
weird.
It's weird.
I don't know how I'm gonna ultimately feel about it. It's interesting. I'm intrigued to see what's going on. But yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Depending on how it ends, I don't know if it's if I'm gonna like it. Or,
All I can
mean-
say is that Dark was really freaking good, so I was excited for this one. I'm liking it. I don't know how it ends yet.
To be honest, compared to the other episodes, this was probably the best. Is it
Anyway,
the
I'll
yeah,
see you guys
okay.
later.
Bye,
Yeah.
Jared. Thanks
Bye,
for
Jared.
joining us. You have anything
Bye.
to plug? Other? No.
Keep being great.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah, but
And I
it's
continue to
probably
be the dominant Jared. Woo.
probably the best. Is the one
It's
where
good.
most things happens and there are a lot of reveals that
It
get
answers some questions,
Well,
brings up
mhm.
more.
But
however,
it
I
makes me
feel like
mhm.
so we were kind of right in that these episodes are kind of in the backstories, kind of focusing
Focusing
on
on a
different
different character.
characters, and I feel like the backstory portion of this episode we didn't get a lot answered as
Yeah,
much
we
as
got
we did in the
details.
other
We did.
ones.
We got details of what happened. We didn't really get like the why behind
Exactly,
it.
and I feel like all the other ones we understand like what the characters went through to get there, and this
And
one,
what they currently want.
yeah,
And this one, I didn't understand why the French guy betrayed his black friend at all.
right.
When they had a
It's
plan,
white.
and he was acting like he didn't want to go along with that plan because he didn't want to impersonate an officer, and then he betrays him and then impersonates an officer.
Yeah, that
Didn't
was
understand
weird.
it.
So it was a little bit weird, but you're right. Everything that's going on with the boat, I think a lot more has happened in this episode, and some intriguing, weird
It
stuff.
escalated pretty quickly.
Yeah.
There was
And
also a
yeah.
moment in at the very end where they're talking about the boy and how he was just thrown overboard and was like expecting it to happen and he didn't really react. And they panned over and they showed the other guy that was from the Prometheus, and there was just one little look that he gave that kind of maybe gives credence to one of the theories we talked about last week about them being the same person. I
Mhm.
don't think that's going to end up being the case, but I think they're trying to make you think that that might be a possibility.
Yeah, but I
There-
was
there's
trying too hard
obviously-
to look at it.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the case because they have different eyes. The color of their eyes are different.
Oh,
So
I don't
that's
look that
one of
closely.
yeah. I was because I was pretty sure that it was the same guy, but then I looked in this guy has brown eyes and the kid has pretty big blue eyes. So yeah, probably.
They are obviously trying to make us think that because it's something that they also do in Dark. Like they're like one of the characters, and this doesn't really spoil anything. There's an ancillary character who is three people who always appear together. So they have the kid version, the adult version, and the old man version, and they're called like the Trinity, and they always travel together. And so like they're trying to like kind of evoke, hey, you watch Dark. Hey, are we doing it? Is this the same person? And it's probably not going to be the case.
Yeah.
They're going to subvert their own trope, right? Because if their eyes are different. Yeah, I don't think that they're the same person either. I think they know each other obviously, and they have similar goals,
Right.
and they know what's going. So the guy knew what would happen if the kid fell over. He would just like reboot into the cupboard, except on a different ship.
Exactly.
And so that's why he was okay with him being tossed overboard. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you're probably completely and 100% right, bro.
Usually,
The thing, the thing, the thing about it being a simulation and the bot and the box, it was so obvious this episode now because every time they drop like this weird, you know, reality bending moments where
Yeah.
they use these like tones that sound cyberpunky, that
Oh,
sound
yeah.
like
Sound
like
effects,
computer,
definitely.
exactly,
Yeah.
like computer
The-
generates effects.
have we
Video game.
mentioned the soundtrack yet?
Uh-uh.
I don't think
the
we have
sound
the show.
the
It's-
soundtrack is incredible.
Yeah.
The way that they'll have like a record like slow it down and like and like the distortion, and anytime something like not right happens on screen, it like the audio gets messed up too. It's
Yeah.
done so well.
And the scene when the black guy is running and the song that is in the background is like breathing.
Yeah.
It feels so like and unnerving. It's a great show. It's a great show. I've been liking it a lot.
Watch Dark.
It has well, it's not better than Dark. I mean, I
Dark.
haven't watched Dark. I will watch
Okay.
Dark. But I had to finish with this first. But
Yeah.
you're right. I have a way more free time with no longer peripheral, which was a track, and no
Yeah.
longer
That was disappointing.
What's the other show that we Andor, Juandor. Yeah.
Mark, you watched Dark. You hadn't seen it before. It's good. Wait, you watched all 3 seasons already?
No, 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 no. I'm just starting.
No, sorry, Mark.
Talking to Mark.
Said he liked
Oh
Dark.
man. No, yeah. I need to watch Dark definitely. And I will. I'm on my way.
I love Dark.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
Oh, you finished season 1? Yeah.
No, I'm yeah, I'm
It gets weirder, and then it gets even weirder, and then you're like, "Did I understand what happened?" And you're like, "I think I did," and that was pretty good.
yeah. The thing is that this is one of those shows that I have to watch not only reviews but actually breakdowns because it's kind of
Mhm.
complex. So yeah, I have to. If not, I'm going to be all night thinking this theory or this theory, and making wild theories about the show. But another thing that I liked about this is the way that they join past and present in the same like reality when the guy's running and
Oh,
then
yeah.
he gets transported
Yeah,
into
those
the
like
war.
flashbacks. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I don't know, man. It's really good. I liked it.
Even if I am right and it is a simulation, like I still don't know why or like what they want.
Mhm.
Right.
The thing I didn't get is what's the whole deal with the guy turning on some things in the electrical. There was
I
there
don't know.
was electricity.
So spooky guy from the other boat is doing all that stuff, but we also saw this the second in
mate,
command, the first
yeah.
mate, doing stuff in the panel.
Yeah, he
So
opened
he
some
knows
panel
more.
and he did some up down elevator code like that they were getting from the
Mhm.
telegraph or whatever.
Which was odd. So he was
Yeah.
kind of resisting the whole like, hey, we should do a coup or a mutiny.
Right.
And then the second it happened, he goes along with it. So I think like he's just trying to remain in a
Neutral.
position where he can
Be doing
do
stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and like, but he doesn't ever like want to interfere. Is what it looks like what's going on.
Yeah, and the people dying, are they bugs as well?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't know. It's
It's-
really
it
weird.
was it was cool when the little kid grabbed his bug and opened the door, and I was like,
Oh yeah, the
oh,
scene where they're like following it around the boat, I really liked.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really weird. I don't know. We'll see.
but there were some dumb choices, like the whole thing with the woman going out of the cabin to look what's going on. I'm like, what are you doing there? Like, why are you going outside? There's people that probably hate you because you are friends with the captain and you are
Yeah.
getting into danger. And also the French lady and the Jerome, this Jerome guy, just
Karum. Yeah.
like, bro, you got shot. Like, what are you doing? I mean, probably the bullets are not as no
Lethal back
pun
then.
yeah, little as the
Yeah.
ones from now, but
Hit him in like the arm. So
Mm.
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, but I don't agree. I really like the whole Jerome's backstory. I think it's one of the most interesting. I really didn't like the whole geisha episode. It was a little bit boring, in my opinion. And never mind. The captain story was more intriguing,
That was
probably.
good.
Well, his acting was the one thing that made it a lot
He's good.
better. Yeah, he's a great actor.
He's good.
He's also in the show in Dark, right?
He's in Dark. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I know this guy
Not,
from.
he's more of a supporting character in Dark,
Okay,
kind of. I can't spoil. So
I'm
he's
getting
not
there. I'm getting
as
there.
prominent, but he's definitely in the show.
Hmm.
Cool beans.
Cool. It's cool beans. It is.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
Oh, yo, one scene that was actually great, and finally they are not just going into this wow factor or spectacle with the gay stuff. when the guy gets to the Spanish man's cabin and they
Yeah.
look at each other and it's like holy, you can feel the tension in the air. You can cut it
Oh
with
yeah,
a knife.
his mom being there
And his
too.
mom and his mom is
Yeah,
like,
Mom saying, "I
oh
wish it
Spitting
had
in
been
his
you
face,
that
I was
died,
like,
not your baby
Yeah,
sister."
that was really
Yeah.
well acted. I was
It
afraid
was.
that he was going to be like, no, give me
Yeah.
space, mom. You're being a jerk, But
Although
No,
spitting in his
he was
face, I was
crying.
worried that he might kind of like it. So
yeah,
No, but even there, I believe that it was like a gesture of hate. Like just what you do to someone that you don't believe as a person, just like you spit down on them.
Mhm.
yeah. But
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
well acted scene.
Yeah, and when he grabs him and he's like Crester or whatever, and he's like looking at him, and then he looks like his money. And I was, oh my god, that lady has some mind
what,
power.
what did they try and steal
Mark.
from his
A
room?
watch.
Just a pocket watch.
It was the watch that
He
he
gave.
had given to Krister
Right.
Uh-huh.
or something like that, and then
When
they
he
both get
yanked on his
Yeah.
on his dong violently in the previous episode. Yeah,
See you, Mark.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, man.
yeah. See you, bro.
We're just about done here. I gotta
Exactly. We just gotta keep praising Dark and keep trying to explain the very ending. But you said it already, no? They are in the Prometheus. That's the reason why she is in the or something like that. But that doesn't explain why the guy, why the
Mark saying he
captain.
thinks the Kerberos is purgatory. I don't know. I hope it's not something lame like how they ended Lost.
Lost.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, Lost was a pretty bad
It's like,
ending.
the beans are frozen. What are you talking about?
That might be a message for David. I don't know.
Maybe David. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
You can't have beans tonight. The beans are frozen.
No
Some
beans.
frijolitos, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, love them frijoles.
Oh well, yeah. That's just about it for tonight. We've got stuff to do, so
Yeah,
we gotta
exactly.
call it.
Okay. All right.
We got it. All right. Sometimes you
I like
judge
it,
slants, Martina, and sometimes they're about 6 levels removed from what you're trying to say. So no one gets
We're just not cool enough. One over our heads.
All right.
So next week we're talking Willow episode 4 and
Episode
18,
5.
1198.
1899 episode 5.
Yeah, nothing's coming out later, right?
I don't know. Well, I guess Avatar comes out next Friday.
Oh,
And actually-
I'm gonna watch it, and I'm going to tell you if if it's that bad.
I'll be
I don't
watching it
know.
next week
I
as
don't
well,
know.
but I probably won't be on the stream because it's my birthday the next day. So
Oh, nice.
Happy birthday.
I probably
birthday.
should see it because I didn't get to see the first one in theaters, right? So
Mm. I just want to go watch it and make a video ripping on it. So that's probably going to be my
it's
comeback
harder to
video.
make videos ripping on movies though because you can't get the footage.
No, but you can get the pictures and the.
Yeah.
I managed to do it with Wakanda Forever. I think that was decent with the trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
I can do something about it.
I just like showing you the stupid stuff like I did.
Exactly.
I can't.
Yeah.
And then by the time the movie comes out and I'm able to do it, like it obviously
late.
people don't care anymore and it's not going to get.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I
It's
had
harder.
to do it that way. Yeah.
It's a labor of
Gotta do it in
love.
that. Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Once again, go check out the Angry Mex's channel. Check out this one. That's Shelf Help Gaming. Go subscribe to both of
help
those.
yourself to that.
And I don't know, like I'm trying to recommend something good. Oh, go listen to.
Oh, I have something
Yeah.
good to recommend you. I almost forgot about it.
Well,
And
my
I thank God you
recommendation
remembered.
is
Yeah.
go listen to David Bowie's "The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust." It's the best. It's the best album ever made, and I've listened to
Probably.
it 5 times this week. And it's so good.
Yeah, I was wanted to recommend you the newest Jason Momoa. It's a kids movie, and it's really really good, bro. It's in Netflix. It's really really good.
Slumberland.
Yeah.
I
It's
saw
really
I
good.
didn't see a trailer for it. I saw like a behind the scenes thing, and it looked really weird.
Yeah, it's it's like I don't know, it's like imagination. It's really really good. Give it a shot. Like it's also a kids movie and it has no politics on it whatsoever. It's just a kids movie about a
Cool.
girl that lost his father, her
That's how you
father,
make kids movies,
and
guys.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's
Nice.
really, really, really good. And another thing that's good in Netflix, and it's really weird that there are good things in Netflix. But it's like a show called Hot Skull. It's a
Turkey.
Hot
Turkish.
Skull?
Yeah, Hot Skull, like skull, like
Over
from
your
head.
head.
Hot
And
Skull
it's
Kid.
like it's a dystopic cyberpunky show, a little bit low budget, but the message is really good. It has great story. Obviously the budget affects and it
Netflix.
hurts the show. Yeah, it's Netflix. And don't watch it with the English dub though.
Oh, I
It's
never do.
horrible.
I never do
But
dub.
watch it with the Spanish dub though. If you're trying to learn Spanish, bro, the
Okay,
Spanish dub,
I don't know. That's
the-
still a dub, though.
it's it's better than the English one.
Why don't I
And
watch it in
it's really
Polish?
hard to the Turkish thing is
I'm a,
hard
s-
to get
I'm a
used to.
subtitle boy, man.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying if you want to learn Spanish, you can watch
I
with
already
English
know
subtitles,
Spanish.
and not you, the other guys.
Yeah, me maybe.
Yeah,
It's a lot of
exactly.
these-
But it
Yeah.
was great dub, in my opinion. For a dub, for a dub. But the show is great, and it has overtones about the real pandemic because they have a pandemic, and it's about a pandemic for the mind. It's like people they start talking gibberish, and that's the disease, and the way that they um, pass it to another human is through if you hear that gibberish, you start talking gibberish yourself, and
That's
it's
a
really,
that's a
really,
cool premise.
really, it's so good, so well done, bro. Watch it, like,
Cool, cool.
oof,
Yeah, I like that
it's
premise.
so
That's cool.
good, so good. I really liked it. I'm almost
It's
done
kind
with
of
it.
it's kind of like if you see someone saying something ridiculous about gender on TikTok, then your brain goes crazy too.
Yeah, it's probably it's. I think because at the end they did a speech that talks about it that the pandemic made us see who is human and what is a human and it's a disease of the mind. They were talking that it was a disease of the mind, so probably they were ripping apart because it has no wokeism whatsoever, literally zero. It's a story about a white straight male that falls in love with a Turkish woman, and every family is a nuclear family, a man and a lady.
It's only white people.
No, 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 it's a lot of Turkish, but
Come on.
it's Turkish. It's Turkish, but the main guy is like a little bit
I was
white.
gonna watch it.
Oh, and the main guy looks like you, bro. The main guy looks like you.
Okay,
It's
I'm
like
sold.
the
I'm sold.
Turkish. It's like the Turkish
I can
version of
only
you.
watch things. I can only watch shows where I'm the main character.
It's like the Turkish version of you, and you're gonna agree with that
I
when you
should,
see.
I should definitely be able to identify with that. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
watch it, bro.
watching it.
And the main actress is beautiful, gorgeous. Yeah, it's great. It's a good show. Good show.
I got
So,
is Cyberpunk on Netflix? I just realized I
oh
never
yeah,
watched
it's
that because
runners.
I haven't had Netflix for a long time.
It is. I've heard good things. Yeah.
It's great. It's a
I
nine
have to
out
get
of
out.
10.
I did watch the first episode of Wednesday just to dip my toe in, and yeah, it was. That's the thing. Like Tim Burton really knows his way around a camera. Like it looks
Looks
fantastic.
good.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But
he has his
man,
moments.
But man, the casting of the parents is
Ugh.
horrible. Both of them. I thought I at first thought that the casting for the mom would have been good, but her
Catherine
acting in
Zeta-Jones.
it was just horrible.
She's bored, and
Looked
I
the
I
part.
think
She looked
yeah.
the part. Her acting was horrible, and then for Luis
Oof,
Guzman, man, like I love Luis Guzman. He is horrible for the role.
so bad,
Um,
so bad.
But
bro.
the good thing is they're barely in it. The kid they got for the brother, fantastic.
Yeah, he's whew, whew. He looks just like the main guy.
I do think the casting of Wednesday is good. I think she does a really good job
It's
as
great.
Wednesday.
It's great. Yeah, she does a
even
good
though
job.
she's Latina. Uh,
That's why they
does
make him
well.
Luz Guzman,
She
because
does good.
she's Puerto Rican, Latina, Puerto Rican, Mexican, and Luis Guzman kind of is like the same demographic. So that's the reason why they made him.
But it is tough to watch because every other line is something woke, talking about the patriarchy, and it's just stupid. It's just
It's
so many
so
jabs
disgusting.
that I was like, man, come on, Tim Burton, you were above this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't love it. It's fine. I don't think I'll finish watching it, but
It gets worse by the
it
minute.
doesn't look like it's the worst thing ever. It looks,
Oh.
and it's very, very competently shot. Like the visuals are just incredible.
Yeah.
And
The CGI is
opening
horrible.
theme is so good, but I
It has good things, good artistic choices, but bad dialogue. Bad
I
acting.
haven't seen Fred Armiston as Fester yet. I've heard that was bad casting, but I haven't seen that. I haven't gotten. He's not in the first episode.
And Martina, the show I'm talking about is called Hot Skull. Like hot. Like because this guy superpower is that his skull gets really hot, and that's why. But I don't want to spoil
Is it
why.
Ghost
So
Rider?
he's immune to the gibberish disease.
Yeah,
Because his skull gets hot.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's I mean,
That
it's not.
sounds retarded,
Yeah,
but like
it's-
I'm interested.
yeah, but it's not even the main part of the show, so it doesn't
The
really
gibberish
matter.
doesn't bother him anyway.
Quick, this looks
It's
like a job for Hot Head Man.
Like
yeah.
I said, he's Ghost Rider. His head gets hot.
Yeah, there you go. But no, it sounds like
Yeah.
an interesting premise. So.
It's
also,
like a,
Gorilla, yes, Hunky Dory is a fantastic album, but it's not a perfect album.
Mhm.
Ziggy Stardust, from start to finish, is flawless.
yeah.
And, I really like the next one, the follow-up. I never know how to pronounce it. Aladdin Sane or something like that. It's some weird name. That's a pretty good one too. Not quite as good.
Yeah, the perfect album is Abbey Road.
Abbey Road, no.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's good. Well, we'll see you guys next week when we watch more hot, filthy garbage. And it's okay though. It's only one episode a week. So, except I need to catch up. I'm behind on my meme videos.
Yep.
I don't have the time. I have significantly less time to edit videos because I have 2 babies now, and my wife's back to working full time. So
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
I took advantage of her maternity leave to make all those Rings of Power videos, and it was worth
It was worth it.
Got me
it was worth
monetized. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Go sub to these guys. Go buy my song, I guess, if you want to. Go kiss your wife. Go call your mom. Call your mom. Call your mom tonight and say, some guy pretending to be a Mexican told me that I should tell you that I love you. And I'm sure she'll be very pleased and also a little bit confused. And I'll buy you a shirt from his merch shop, and then it will all make sense.
Literally, actually, I'm going to call my mom after this. So
Nice.
There you go.
All right. Peace out, guys. Anything else to plug?
No.
Okay.
See you.
See ya. It's been a blast.
Bye.
Till next time. Hey, we got a short stream this week, guys.